questions will come, but I now have Commander Gale with us, the head of ARDPEM, who will give his update.
Good morning, Minister. Thank you. It has now been 42 days since the all clear has been issued, and while they have made some significant progress, we fully remain focused on the community and families that are hurting and still in need of support. The National Emergency Operations Center is activated at level 3, coordinating response, relief, and early recovery efforts across all parishes. First, let me indicate or speak about rather the human impact. Hurricane Melissa has been our most consequential disaster. It is deeply regrettable that to date we have recorded 45 confirmed deaths, with 13 persons still missing and an additional 32 deaths under investigation. Our thoughts remain with the families of those we've lost. In the aftermath of the storm, we have also seen 84 suspected and 30 confirmed cases of leptospirosis, with 12 related deaths, 7 of which have been confirmed, as well as 2 cases of tetanus and 1 death. These figures underscore the scale of the human impact and the seriousness with which the ministries, departments, and agencies of government continue to approach the recovery effort. As of last evening, 101 emergency shelters remain open across 7 parishes, housing 1,061 persons. Work continues between the MDAs and partners to identify suitable sites for prefabricated housing and other medium-term options, especially in communities where schools are still being used as shelters, so that normal school life can resume. As mentioned before, the Guyanese Defense Force has deployed to Jamaica to fulfill the promise made by their president to repair some 200 roofs in the parish of Westmoreland. The team commenced work yesterday and is living and working alongside their Jamaica Defense Force counterparts. In partnership with the ARDPEM, the JDF is also continues to coordinate with regional and international military partners, including Barbados, Bermuda, Rwanda, Ghana, and Ethiopia, arranging for the conduct of similar roofing repair missions across Jamaica. The long-term priority remains clear: safe, resilient housing and durable shelter solutions for those who have lost their homes. Thanks to strong national and international partnerships, we've also been able to mount a strong food and relief distribution operation. To date, the government of Jamaica has distributed just over 340,000 food packages, the ARDPEM distributing just over 98,000, while Jamaica Defense Force, in support of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, just over 242,000 packages to affected households primarily in Western Jamaica. The Food Assistance Working Group, which includes over 30 partners, has enabled the production and delivery of food packages and hot meals to 314,000 persons in some 379 communities. In total, the Food Assistance Working Group has distributed just over 112,000 food kits, affecting 234 lives, while some 3.3 million hot meals have been distributed to approximately 190,000 persons. At the same time, just over 39,000 Jamaica household damage impact and needs assessments have been completed, helping to identify households in need of shelter and livelihood support. This data is also guiding cash grants and voucher programs that will help families to purchase food, building materials, and other essentials as we transition from the emergency phase into the early recovery and self-resilience. Churches and other faith-based institutions, the private sector, and willing Jamaicans continue to provide invaluable food distribution, clothing, and other relief items in the worst-hit parishes. Minister Vaz would have already mentioned the critical restoration of infrastructure and telecommunications. What I'll also indicate is that the National Water Commission had restored over 83% of its customer base. Majority of systems in all parishes are back online, and with the support of the 12 additional water trucks operating in the affected communities, they are able to deliver over 146,000 gallons of water to affected communities. What this has enabled is that over 60% of remittance agencies within the worst affected parishes are operational. In St. Elizabeth, over 69%. In Westmoreland, over 85%. Hanover, 83%. St. James, 67%. And Trelawney, 73%. Work continues to restore utilities and critical services. Our health sector remains stable. More than 50% of the health sector, of health facilities rather, in each parish are operational and supported by 2 field hospitals and multiple international and local medical missions. The Ministry of Health and Wellness, in partnership with PAHO and UNICEF, continue to roll out mobile clinics, mobile pharmacy services, mental health and psychosocial support, and also distribution of wash kits and medical supplies to shelters and affected communities. Environmental health activities are being intensified, including mosquito control and fogging across dozens of communities. We do urge the public to play their part, store water safely, clean up around your premises, and seek medical help early if you develop fever, vomiting, diarrhea, or such symptoms. To date, just over 17,000 contributors have donated funds through the GOJ Hurricane Melissa platform, totaling some 780 million Jamaican dollars. These funds are being used to procure building supplies to assist the Jamaican people. I want to encourage those at home and abroad that if you want to contribute or you wish to contribute, please use the official Support Jamaica platform at supportjamaica.gov.jm. In closing, let me indicate that the road to recovery is long, but Jamaica is moving along at a steady pace from emergency to the early recovery phase into rebuilding. We will affirm that no community will be forgotten. The ODPEM and other local authorities, international partners, the private sector, faith-based and community organizers are united in a single mission to restore lives and livelihood and dignity and to build back better, safer, and stronger. Thank you, and may God continue to bless our island home.
Sherwin-Williams brings you Colors of Hope. From November 28th to December 20th, brighten your world with 20% off select decorative paints and drive with confidence with 15% off automotive paints. Because hope starts with color. Visit your nearest Sherwin-Williams store today and let your colors tell a story of hope. Don't wait. These savings won't last forever. Sherwin-Williams, bringing hope to life.
Como tá, papai?
Eu tô com medo.
Pai, quase não é delicado. Pode ver, eu tô bem. Eu vou indo. Tô tentando viver e pedindo com loucura pra você.
Como que tá o vovô? Eu quero ver ele.
Filha, o vovô tá.
Thank you, Commander, for those updates. And as you heard, he said 800 and something million dollars.
Morning, everybody. Morning, morning, morning. Morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's do it. Let's do it early. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law do we meditate day and night. For we shall be like sheep planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth our fruit in our season. Our leaves shall not wither, and whatsoever we do shall prosper. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show, live on Portland Spice TV at YouTube. Shaka Fame at TikTok, we're on this morning. We ask you to share up the live because, as I normally tell people, I am not a blogger, nor a vlogger. I'm not of that community, I'm a broadcaster. This year, I am celebrating over 30 years, 30 consistent years, but over 30 years in media. So we're now going to delay. We want to hear Minister Pernell Charles Jr. when he speaks at the press briefing.
Also give an update, Minister, on the food-related expenditure as you asked. As it relates to the assessments, let me start by firstly putting in context that for burial, as a nation, we were able to do a little over 19,000 assessments in what would be between 6 to 8 months. We have doubled that amount of assessments in 1 month. And that is to put in context the level of upscaling in terms of efficiency, capacity, and focus that we have now, and also lessons learned from the event that we had July of last year. And also to remember that in the first 2 weeks post the Hurricane Melissa, our focus then was distribution. That said, as of December 9th, which would have been yesterday, we have recorded 40,144 household damage assessments completed. We have 544 assessors trained and operating on our platform, and we anticipate to double that amount. Cabinet has approved now the scaling up of household damage assessment submission that was made recently, which will see us having the ministry's integrated assessment acceleration strategy supported by ministries, departments, and agencies that have field capacity to assist us in completing the remaining household damage assessments. And what do we mean by that? What we mean is that the Prime Minister has asked for an all-across government approach, collaborating to make sure that we can get the assessments, even though we have already ramped up, even further ramped up to ensure that we can provide all of the relevant information, accurate data that is that can be relied on and that is credible, to move on to the next phase with regards to providing housing support and other support. So assessments, as you know, are the foundation of any benefit that is to be provided or deployed to anyone impacted by Melissa. That said, we, in addition to our 544 assessors, have made submissions to increase that amount of persons that can be trained so that we can deploy more persons and, of course, increase the amount of assessments. We have 60 JDF service corps that are assisting 17 JDF officers that are in the West, and we have 30 more from the service corps that should be coming on. We have also 30 additional assessors funded through the World Food Program that are being formally onboarded, and they have begun their operations. There are 20 of our officers from Kingston and St. Andrew, MLSS officers that are stationed now in Mandeville to reinforce the St. Elizabeth deployment. We have 13 officers from St. Mary that are supporting in Trelawney. We have another 13 officers from Portland that are being prepared to join the St. James team. We have liaison officers that have come in from Canada and also in from the US that are supporting the teams also in the West. And in total, that gives us more than 100 additional assessors that will be more of a constant in terms of doing the assessments. And I say this, Minister, because it is to be understood that where you have, for instance, 600 assessors, and many of them being volunteers.
600 is small.
Don't anticipate that volunteers will be working 5 days a week.
Shouldn't be volunteer.
And so we need to expand the numbers of assessors so that in total,
that's what I told you.
At least assessments being done by what would be an approximate of 600 persons throughout the weeks. And that will give us a scaling up to take us to the 150,000 assessments that we need done by end of January.
Madness.
That said,
madness.
We are now negotiating additional support. We are working with the MLSS team in negotiations with the UNDP, who are experienced in this process. They have done a number of deployments across the Caribbean and across the world. Recently, 1,500 of their officers were in Peru. So we are having discussions with them to see if we can get a deployment of UN volunteers to assist. We're also working and having discussions with the various ministries who have in their respective
people. I want to know. I want to be listening to this. You know. I want to listen to this man. You know. And this is why the people must suffer. You know. This
constant support. There have been approvals now through this submission to ensure that those officers that are identified across the ministries, departments, and agencies will get the support of their ministry, which is essential in terms of not just identifying assessors, but actually um, the output, getting the assessments done. What it means is beyond the numbers, we need persons who can be transported, who can be fed, who can be supported to go through the hills, the nooks, and the crannies. And that's why the support from the ministries, departments, and agencies will be critical in terms of giving us more bodies on the ground and boots on the ground that will be consistent and constant.
People, this is why the relief is taking so long. The assessment has not been done. More than 2 weeks now, we came here and we told you what needs to be done.
We intend to have.
But we are waiting till him finish. When him finish, we tell you no. We remind you what we said.
That are our priority parishes: St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, St. James, Hanover, Trelawney, and St. Anne. And those teams will be fitted with supervision from members, officers of the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, as well as our support partners. And the implementation timeline recognizes that we do have several public holidays in December.
Sure.
And so
December shouldn't catch your brother.
Assessment surge should see us working throughout December, working into January, and hoping to complete mid-January. I say verification and reporting and completion by the end of January 2026.
No.
I want to move, Minister, quickly, because I know time is on you, to just give a very brief update on the food-related expenditure, which I know many persons have been asking about. You have heard the report already as it relates to the matters regarding the distribution of packages. But let me just indicate that as at the 9th of December 2025, total expenditure related to food procurement under the Hurricane Melissa emergency response amounts to 225.1 million from the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. Please note that if we were to integrate the food that has been received in terms of donations and also packaged and deployed, that would increase exponentially. But this is what we have procured from the ministry. It includes $52 million spent pre-hurricane in terms of purchases of food that were pre-positioned across the country, and also 173.1 million in post-hurricane expenditure. Finally, I want to advise that the self-reporting mechanism is live. You can go to the ministry's website. I don't know, Minister, if it's also on Support Jamaica. I believe it's also on supportjamaica.gov.jm. And the relevance of this self-reporting, again, is from the lessons that we have learned through burial. When our team members go into the communities, inevitably, you will have households that we will seek to advance the assessments, but we're not able to do so because the persons may not be there for good reason. Many persons are now staying with family, and they may not be aware, they may not hear the call or the town crier in terms of being advised of when the assessment will be done. So we have scheduled assessments that are communicated to the relevant persons across the parishes to ensure that persons are aware and that they locate themselves to advance the assessments. And if we do not find you, if for whatever reason we come to your community, to your street, and the assessment is not done, we ask that you utilize the self-reporting mechanism. It notifies us and gives us the opportunity to schedule an assessment with you so that you are not left behind. Again, these are lessons that we learned from the burial experience. Additionally, we have an email that is available for you if you require any further information in relation to assessments, as well as if you find yourself to be capable of joining the assessors corps, meaning if you are available, if you have the capacity in terms of transportation, and if you are willing, we are making a call for all who want to assist in this process and are able to and want to be considered to reach out to us at 876 922 8000 to 13. That's 876 922 8000 to 13. And the email is clientcare@mlss.gov.jm. So feel free to send us your information, advise us where you are. Of course, the more support we can get in the West, is the better. It reduces the need and the expenses in terms of transportation. And so we make that specific call for anyone who has the time and is willing to put in the effort. This is a collaborative effort that is required across government and throughout private sector. That's the only way that we will achieve our collective goals. I want to just close off by indicating that we recognize that there are still several persons who may feel like no one has come to me yet. We hear those cries. We monitor social media, we monitor the traditional media, and so we are aware of some of the statements that have been made. I want it to be very, very clear that the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, working across government with our partners, it's our intention.
I feel like cut you off.
That no one is left behind.
I feel like cut you off.
The senior citizens, the persons with disabilities, those vulnerable groups. And so I use this platform to call on all community leaders, civil society, private sector, all who are in and across Jamaica, that if you know anyone who either says or who you can confirm requires support, needs to get an assessment done, and has not been assessed or feels that they have in some way been omitted, please reach out to us. We have been deployed across the country, but even so, from our experiences, we have learned that no matter how far and wide we go, there will be circumstances where persons will be missed, and we need your support to ensure that no one is left behind. Thank you. Thank you, Minister.
All right, we're going to get to our other, of course, big and ongoing story from this week, Hurricane Melissa.
Hurricane Melissa. Melissa made...
See. Morning, everybody. Morning. Now, this is the difference from Portland Spice TV and them other thing there. We want to thank the Almighty God this morning for blessing us with vision and foresight. Tuesday, I think it was the 2nd of December, we spoke to some people live on this channel from Westmoreland. And from the second mission that we did in the West, we've been saying to you that the government is moving slow, too slow. And people try to criticize us, so we mean the government are move slow. But based on what we know, in a situation like this, the government assessment is critical for government to know exactly what needs to be done and how quick. So if you don't finish the assessment, if you don't get the assessment going, the people are going to suffer for much longer than they need to suffer for. So when we are criticizing the government, we are criticizing the government because we see it coming. in terms of people in the West, the government, away from giving out some food, and they said 350,000 package. And we know that they're trying to reach 360,000 people. So even at that amount, the rotation still makes it short. But when you listen, as we just did, to the Minister of Labor, that is what we've been talking about. And we, on this channel, and I want to thank all my subscribers, all the Portland Spice ambassadors, for sticking and staying with us and helping to share the channel so people all around can see what we are saying and prove it. This is what we told the minister to do from about the 23rd of November. I need to find the date when we said this. We need to find the date. We need to find the date when we said it. Because the 25th of November, today is the 13th, 5 and 3 are 8. So 18 days ago, we said this.
By way of proper data collection, there, you would also be an underground. I'm not talking this nonsense from here, Colonel Charles Jr., the Minister of Labor, so people are sending information electronically when people don't even have connectivity. It's one of the most nonsensical ideas I'm seeing. I see it on social media out there and things like that. I don't know that Colonel Charles could be saying that at this time.
We also give him an idea. We also have an idea for him, Obi, where we are saying the people who are out of a job down in the West, the hotel workers, the call center workers, teachers who are not severely impacted and can go work, put 2,000 or 3,000 people in the field for the next 7 days, working days, 7 working days, and you'll be able to pick up a lot of the data that you need in quick time so that you can start responding to the people. We said it.
Absolutely, Colin. And remember now.
We said it. We said it right here. The minister said they monitor social media. And if they're not monitoring Portland Spice TV, they're not monitoring. This is not gossip channel and Ray channel. So a lot of the Ray no go on here, so. This is the people's business that we discuss here. Jamaica's business. Not PNP business and not GLP business, but Jamaica's business. PNP and GLP are but a tool in the people's hand that they should use to ensure that the business of this country is conducted properly, transparently, with accountability, active, nimble. The collection of the data should have been complete. The minister said January. Doesn't that bring a outrage to January before you know what happened to all of the people them down there where them need to do? Brother, a 500 people you have now, I tell you a long time, 2,000 to 3,000 employed people. What voluntary you're talking about? It can't be voluntary. 7 days you need to take and complete the collection of this data, sir. 7 days. 7. 2,000 to 3,000 people. And if you go back and watch that program on the 25th of November, I also stated, somewhere where my area say now, that workers from Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, from the Ministry of Labor should be brought down to the West, put them on the ground. At the time, the teachers that was not working, that was not going out to school, they should have been employed or sent out because they would have already been paid, and collect the data. This is what we're talking about when we come here and say we speak truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. This is what we talk about when we come here and say, give us vision, lest we perish. Knowledge send us. Heavenly Father, grant us true wisdom from above. That is what we're talking about. Of course. You work at your own ledge and nobody can tell you when to go and when not to go. Something serious like this, you beg people to do. And you say the government have money. Come down. Come down. What do you hear the minister say? At January, the end of January. That assessment should have been finished by the end of November. So the people can get government response. The government cannot respond properly without the data. Been telling you. And some clowns out there, clowns, but they are vloggers and bloggers, paid by the party to sing them song. You come on media, behaving like you're practicing journalism. Claim on the name of a vlogger and blogger. When you come on, say it, that people don't mistake you for broadcasters or journalists. You're neither. The fourth estate carries a responsibility to hold government accountable. The fourth estate, that's the media. So if you're coming with Ray and yeah, come with your Ray and make everybody know, say, yo, the things where mommy talk not really serious, but just chat to me, feel like, yeah, this is my views and I'm chatting what I feel like. Yeah, come with that. And say that. But don't come here like when I defend people when you are paid by a political party. You are paid by operatives of political parties. Or you're blinded by your dumbness. Or you're back aside. You're back aside when no matter what the danger to other people, your side is always right. Make the people them know what you're about. This cannot be my people. It can't be. Cannot be. That we are at a place where the government at this time does not really know the real situation on the ground. And when we say the government that moves slow, this is what we are talking about. The people them not have to suffer so long. The people them must suffer too long. And government is saying to you that we still don't have the data. And challenge me, anybody, that government can operate properly without the data. The same urgency in restoring electricity or more should have been put in obtaining the data, who damage, how much people damage, we have diabetes, so the government can't even put a system in place, we are keep diabetic medication, yes, upon refrigeration, so you can get it. Our ambulance going to certain area every day. Go give some people who forget insulin, the injection, we have to keep our fridge. Government don't know how much of them they in a no community. I want to come here and chat on a crap, no know nothing about governance. Go sit down. Governance is not politics. And both Andrew Holness, Darrell Vaz, Christoph, and those who are hyping the Minister of Finance need to know that it's time to govern, not time to politic. Politicking time is not now. Stop rump with my people in life. Where want to come from? Where want to come from? You must listen. No one is the reservoir of all information or all knowledge. That's why early in the piece, you said it, Mr. Prime Minister, the opposition leader said it, all hands are required to be on deck for the people. This came at an opportune time when the election just done. So you're not fret about election for the next 4 or 5 years. What this shows is a lack of leadership, Mr. Prime Minister, because you're politicking at a time when you need to govern. You see me na me gungu, why you call me na me gungu? What happened?
Hello?
What happened?
Colin, calm down, man, calm down.
Calm down your face. Calm down what? When people are suffer, when people are stressed, when people are get mental. What is wrong with you? Where's the care? Where's the care for the people of this land?
What you're saying here about government is too slow. It's not true, man.
Hey, nephew. What is wrong with you? But don't, nephew. When you see me in this mood, me not have no control over what me I say right now. When me I say, I don't know what me think about. So be careful. I might say something to you when me not say to you. Because you take people life a joke. And people life are a joke. People lose everything. People lose hopes and dreams. Everything come crashing down. And the government sit down and I go tell you, say at January before them done the assessment, and you come here, come as skin teeth.
In all the years listening to you, the first I've ever seen you in this mood. It's not Colin Bell at all.
No, it's not Colin Bell.
Colin, don't go and listen to
don't
you,
skin no teeth with people life, nephew. Call on your government and tell them to wake up and shake up. Call on your government, nephew. Tell them now. Tell Colonel Charles Jr. that it's time to get the data. 7 days. 7 days. 7 days.
All right, Colin, all right.
I'm not take this thing for joke. It's a joke. Oh, it's a joke. It's a joke. That's what me hear. It's a joke. Make a trip. Make a community trip and go down a west. Go see it for yourself. Make a trip. Go look on it for yourself down there. And the Prime Minister said we have spread misinformation. The Bible says let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. Truth is an offense, but it's not a shame. You know how much people lose business in a Black River and lose them house? Which part it there? You know how many people were millionaires on the 27th of October and today they are paupers? Do you know that? Do you know how many people died between Melissa and now because of a lack of medication? Do you know that? What do you know? Those of you sitting down, 1 bro God, 1 p.m. Do you know that he's responsible for all the houses that blew down between all of the areas? Do you know that he's responsible to help these people get back on their feet? Do you know? Do you know? Because there are those out there who are saying he's not responsible and it's not the government's responsibility. It tells me you don't understand governance. Latter, you have no love for the people. Buju said they have no love for the people who are suffering real bad. Morning.
Good morning, Colin. How are you?
You can see it. Me no know.
Colin, you're going to beat it, Colin, you know, as the saying is, when the righteous be silent, evil prevails.
Talk to me.
And we cannot keep silent.
Talk to me.
And we will continue to talk.
Talk to me.
Because we cannot allow evil to prevail,
Talk
Colin.
to me.
You know, I purpose in myself. I will never, right now, give any donation. No more donation. To see Pernell Charles come out lying to the people. Them take people for fool, man.
What he lied about?
And I know the people are wise up,
What he lied about? What Pernell lied about?
The $225 million what them sell in a package, something when them give out Colin, anything goes up.
Me don't know that. Me don't know that. And honestly, at this time, I am not even focusing on that. Because even that is inadequate. If you know of a food at Jamaica, I show you say they're not buying a portion of food. That is not no portion. Come on! When you go shop, hold on. When you go supermarket, how much you spend a week time at the supermarket? Tell me. How much you spend at week time? Make we save that money. How much you spend? Talk to me.
Say yesterday
Caller.
we just go.
Yeah.
Yes, Colin.
Yeah, man. Go ahead.
You hear me?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, me tell you something. Yesterday, I'm abroad. And yesterday I go out to do a little shopping.
Yes.
And the amount of money I spend.
How much you
and
spend?
First time I know things was not like that.
How much you spend? Tell me how much you spend.
We spend pretty close to about 300 US.
300 US. No, that's excessive shopping. That's excessive shopping. But let's say you spend 150 US, which is about 20,000 Jamaican. 20,000 times 360,000. You know how much that? 20,000 times 360,000. A $7 billion that, you know.
Yeah.
So hold on, let's break it down and say you should be giving food to 150,000 families. Let's break this down. You should be giving food to 150,000 families. It's $3 billion that. So me just tell you no. When him say him get 250, them spend $250 million. It sure you say people are suffer, they don't spend nothing. That can't feed the people them down there for 40 days. So me not hear the lie when tell. I don't hear a lie. I hear inadequacy. Is that I hear? Maybe I wrong then. Because people are saying them thief money. Me hear it all about. I mean I say about what rubbish? $250 million for 40 days for feed maybe over 400,000 people will get damaged. That are no nothing. They don't do nothing. That's why you say they're not doing it.
They're not do nothing. That is the essence of it. That's the objective. Them not do nothing. And we all know that Colin said they not do nothing for the people them. And come out so from front page and attack. Them mats never mats up yet. Never ever. And still I ask him more people must donate.
But look here.
For them get some more for thief.
Let me tell you something.
No, man. People, a reality we are talking about. Then, the next thing that I am not in agreement with totally. No, the big concert last night.
Which one?
Yes, the concert.
You are the one in New York?
Concert. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Babs Green's gone up there and she flaunt her speech as usual. Me I think back in my head, all that money that is collected, I go back in and feed them and again, I feed them and that money are going to,
No, one thing I can tell you.
Don't hear.
If Shaggy have nothing to do with that concert, them not getting that money. If Shaggy have anything to do with that concert, that money not going through the government. They're going to use that money and do what them have to do down there.
I hope so, because I remember the last time what they did, or the first time what they did with Shaggy,
No, man,
Shaggy said, no, not turn over the money,
Remember,
and
Shaggy.
All kind of stuff,
Remember, Shaggy was one of the.
Remember,
Shaggy was one of the first person to fly in his own relief, So I don't think Shaggy will give the government the money.
He eventually had to turn it over, and until now we not hear where the money go. And the hospital was in disarray. The equipment that is needed to be bought from that money never happened. And we don't hear the government come out and say anything about that.
All right.
And I'm coming out now. The thing I would want to hear those artists appeal on or about is to appeal to the government of Jamaica to take care of the people. And whatever the money is for, spend the money accordingly. Me no hear none of them say that. And I have a problem with that because we cannot play a blind eye. We must call out the government, and they are the ones who would be effective to say something like that on that situation. I mean, hear nobody say nothing. You know, you know none of them.
All right, caller. All right.
Strong
Give
against
thanks.
the government for
Give
not
thanks.
using the money right and taking care of the people.
All
Thank
right.
you.
876-804-7072. This is the Colin Bell Show.
Good morning, Colin.
Morning.
What I heard is that the packages were made from stuff that they got is not dollar value of things to go out and buy. And that is even worse. They just quantify it.
I don't know. But what I can tell you, if that amount of, if you have 150,000 families that are affected down the west, because in a St. Elizabeth, I think you have 150,000 people. In a Westmoreland, I think there's another 150,000. In St. James, I think you have more than that. In a Hanover, I think there are about 70,000 people. Now, I am saying, if all these people have been affected, yeah, and you even look at 300,000 out that needs constant food packages and need food, and you only spend 250 million. You not spend no money. You not spend no money. If you are going to tell me that it's January, end of January, before you finish collecting the data of all who get damaged, people are going to suffer like dog. The government cannot launch an appropriate response without the data.
That's true. Data have to work with the data, because you can't find out how much person without data. You can randomly say you spend. You have to have something too.
This speech here at the press briefing, and I'm going to play it back, is a dereliction of duty. And I am saying to the minister, almost, thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to give somebody else a chance to call.
Thank you. It's almost 3 weeks ago I told you what to do. It's 7 days you need to get the data. At least 98% of it. That the government can respond appropriately.
So I will focus on the assessments and also give an update, Minister, on the food-related expenditures.
Listen to the assessment.
As it relates to the assessments, let me start by firstly putting in context that for burial, as a nation, we were able to do a little over 19,000 assessments in what would be between 6 to 8 months. We have doubled that amount of assessments in 1 month. And that is to put in context the level of upscaling in terms of efficiency, capacity, and focus that we have now, and also lessons learned from the event that we had July of last year. And also to remember that in the first 2 weeks post the hurricane, Melissa, our focus then was distribution. That said, as of December 9th, which would have been yesterday, we have recorded 40,144 household damage assessments completed. We have 544 assessors trained and operating on our platform, and we anticipate to double that amount. Cabinet has approved now the scaling up of household damage assessments submission that was made recently, which will see us having the ministry's integrated assessment acceleration strategy supported by ministries, departments, and agencies that have field capacity to assist us in completing the remaining household damage assessments. And what do we mean by that? What we mean is that the Prime Minister has asked for an all-across government approach, collaborating to make sure that we can get the assessments, even though we have already ramped up, even further ramped up to ensure that we can provide all of the relevant information, accurate data that is that can be relied on and that is credible to move on to the next phase with regards to providing housing support and other support. So assessments, as you know, are the foundation of any benefit that is to be provided or
there
deployed
there
to
you
anyone
go.
impacted by Melissa.
There you go.
That said, we, in addition to our 544 assessors, have made submissions to increase that amount of persons that can be trained so that we can deploy more persons and, of course, increase the amount of assessments. We have 60 JDF service corps that are assisting 17 JDF officers that are in the West, and we have 30 more from the service corps that should be coming on. We have also 30 additional assessors funded through the World Food Program that are being formally onboarded, and they have begun their operations. There are 20 of our officers from Kingston and St. Andrew, MLSS officers that are stationed now in Mandeville to reinforce the St. Elizabeth deployment. We have 13 officers from St. Mary that are supporting in Trelawney. We have another 13 officers from Portland that are being prepared to join the St. James team. We have liaison officers that have come in from Canada and also in from the US that are supporting the teams also in the West. And in total, that gives us more than 100 additional assessors that will be more of a constant in terms of doing the assessments. And I say this, Minister, because it is to be understood that where you have, for instance, 600 assessors, and many of them being volunteers.
Rubbish.
You don't anticipate that volunteers will be working 5 days a week.
Hallelujah.
And so we need to expand the numbers of assessors so that in total we can have at least assessments being done by what would be an approximate of 600 persons throughout the weeks. And that will give us a scaling up to take us to the 150,000 assessments that we need done by end of January. That said, we are now negotiating additional support.
So, I want to hear that. They have done 40,144 assessment. And they are of the opinion that they need to do 150,000. They are less than a third. Less than a third. I said it here, you know. The 25th of November, we did the program. Conrad O'Brien was on, and before Conrad came, I laid out the whole thing. Telling the minister how to pick up this data in 7 days. 7 days. If you put if you put 3,000 people out there, or let's say 2,000, let's use the lower figure that I call. 7 days, and each of them doing 10 per day. Each day you do 20,000. 7 twos is 14, that's 140,000. Marlon Morgan said it's easier said than done. And I said to Marlon Morgan and all of the rest, the only way it's hard to do if you don't have the money to pay. Once you have the money to pay, and you do, you have the money to pay. Once you have the money to pay, it is easy. I also told you where to get the people from. people who are already trained in some aspects. I say use the workers from the call center. I told you. You're coming here now telling us the end of January before you're going to finish the assessment. People must ball out on that. The people must come out and speak out against that. Again, I say, mass labor you must use. Employ 2,000 to 3,000 people. And me not just say it here, so. It was from the 25th of November. 18 days ago. We come out and put that in the media.
By way of proper data collection, there, you know, you would also be an underground. I'm not talking this nonsense from here, Colonel Charles Jr., the Minister of Labor, so people are sending information electronically when people don't even have connectivity. It's one of the most nonsensical ideas I'm seeing. I see it on social media out there and things like that. I don't know that Colonel Charles could be saying that at this time.
We also give him an idea. We also have an idea for him, Obi, where we are saying the people who are out of a job down in the West, the hotel workers, the call center workers, teachers who are not severely impacted and can go work, put 2,000 or 3,000 people in the field for the next 7 days, working days, 7 working days, and you'll be able to pick up a lot of the data that you need in quick time so that you can start responding to the people.
Absolutely, Colin. And remember now that this money, that we're talking about, wouldn't even have to come from the normal budgetary funds that were there. We can use the money that come in via the Cat 5 and the CRIP and so on and so forth. And indeed, the massive donation that we understand is coming in from both local and overseas. So money is there that can do it. We know that in terms of the heavy lifting, the rebuilding process,
So, you see what we are talking about. That is what we're talking about. It's crazy. The thinking of the government is warped. They are not even thinking how to restart the economy. The economy should have restarted already, you know. Should have restarted already. But I will say it this morning, that what I am seeing from the government lacks the knowledge of how to go forward. Hello, good morning. Morning.
God bless you.
Hold the line for me. Hold on. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Colin.
Morning. Welcome.
Well, I'm calling from St. Elizabeth.
St. Elizabeth. We're in St. Elizabeth.
Flagaman.
Flagaman. I drive through Flagaman the other day when I come down there. Flagaman no look so bad. Flagaman no look so bad.
Okay.
I see some damage, but I see worse.
Okay. Okay. You know what you were talking about, the packages?
Yes.
I was wondering, we live in Flagaman, right?
Yes.
Every time the packages come, it come in Treasure Beach.
So no package no come at Flagaman?
One time I hear say the soldier didn't come. One time I wasn't here, so I didn't get anything.
Isn't that Floyd Green constituency?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
One time they come around here, I wasn't here. Somebody called me and told me they was here, but I wasn't here. And we have to go down to Treasure Beach every day. They go to Treasure Beach, and we don't have any vehicle to go down to Treasure Beach. So me 80 how much 70, nearly 70 years old. So how we get down to Treasure Beach?
You don't need to
go every time I down to Treasure Beach today.
Let me ask you a question though. You got damage in the hurricane?
Our farm mash up everything, mash up on my whole stuff. My ceiling top drop out on everything. We don't see nobody.
Nobody no come to you yet, come take your name, your TRN, your phone number, take pictures of your house?
No. Only last week, Mr. Green come up at the community center and they said they must set down for farming things.
No,
so
hold on.
No.
Hear the question I'm going to ask you. Nobody no come in your yard. Take your name.
No, sorry, nobody don't come out yard.
Listen,
nobody.
Hold on, listen what me I say. Nobody no take your name, your phone number, your TRN, take picture of something that damage. Nobody no come do that yet?
Nobody.
There you go.
Right?
Wanna hear?
And I think the food, we not get other food for people usually come share food, but they don't come too much for you. We don't get any people they feel say our house staff don't really gone plenty around here. But remember, Colin, before the storm, our farm mash up with dry weather. We had five months of dry weather, right? So we don't really have any money around here, and then we put back in the farm, and the storm come and mash up everything. So we really don't have anything around here.
So on basically down, even though it might not destroy by the hurricane, the situation around it, you guys don't have anything to live off right now. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, nothing to live off.
And if the government go and help, them need to get the assessment done.
Right? Well,
So
if we want something, we have to go down here. People are going to Treasure Beach, and sometimes they're gone and they don't tell you. So we ain't getting any other packages to that.
So why is it that you just got Treasure Beach? You don't have a community center in a Funo area?
Yeah, we have a community center, Flagaman.
So something not supposed to come at the community center?
No, we have to go to Treasure Beach.
When I was driving through Flagaman that Thursday, I saw one vehicle, some people that run go over like one. I don't know about it over there, so I don't remember. I don't remember. But
sometimes people come and they will share food out on the road here.
Yeah. Like when regular people are pass through and just give us some things.
Yes. Maybe one time I hear the soldier then they're up there. And one time they come around here where we live. So I don't know.
So let me ask you a question now. Suppose you could have talked to Pernell Charles. In there up on the screen right now. Suppose you could have talked to him. He's the Minister of Labor and Social Security. What would you say to him?
We need him to come on here for we can't get none of the food. And we can't go down to Treasure Beach. And we need him to come and look at our house too.
So Flagaman needs to see the assessors and needs some of the relief.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. You just tell him that to me for we can't go down to Treasure Beach.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
St. Elizabeth in the house. Happy to hear from them. Yes, caller, go right ahead. Thanks for holding.
Yeah, I share some views, our views like what Rastan speak about. I don't like when money come out of our country. I'm talking about having the Chinese to build these containers because I still hear in the province talking about in collaboration with the Chinese for them to build houses. That cannot happen. That is going to make things even worse. We should be using our skilled workers, people from down back that end that got devastated, destroyed. In the carpenters, the masons, and so forth, and bringing people from town also because we know that they're gonna need a lot of skilled worker down there. To build houses. When we're gonna take money now to buy a container house because no ship them out ship it here, so then build it here.
No, we're not building container house.
So that can't good for the country. It cannot good for the country because you have to go buy US now, You have to go buy US dollar to go buy the house.
US dollar what we well need,
What we well need. So I'm saying if we're talking about, he always talking about prosperity and economic growth. How are you going to have prosperity when you're taking out the money out of the country? People can't have prosperity.
Talk to me.
Yeah, you can't have prosperity. So the easiest way and the simplest way, because a real government always think about the people and make sure the people is okay. So there's no way you're gonna rebuild, and we're still talking about the Chinese to come make container house. I even build out our house anyway. And we are the ones should have built out our house. If we have a design, say, boy, these are the houses that we need. They should have it long time because they said that they have plans. They should have a long time, because they say they have the master plan to build out houses and so forth. So it would be no, just give the people the masons and the carpenters the design that you want and how we should build the houses now. And start building. We should have built already,
We should have done some house already.
Yeah, we should have
Listen.
what the question what we are waiting for?
Let me tell you something. The government still sit down upon them laurels. They're not get up yet. They have not gotten up as yet. The government not get up yet. The government still sit down at the table and discuss what to do. The government is still around the table discussing what to do, allocating rules and function. No action, no start yet.
That's crazy. Because just like we say, it's not like they don't have the money, because they can use the government resources, and they can use the resources that they get from donation and so forth. Plus they have money that they get from they have money now that they get from the multilateral.
Let me tell you this. They don't get no money from the multilateral, so to speak, yet. But let me tell you this. The government of Jamaica is not short of funds. The government have funds. They are not short on funds. Spend
so
them,
where them are we upon?
You know, you say them still sitting at the table, having a discussion.
Crazy.
They are still discussing what to do, who to do what, how to do it, when to do it. The government not get up off of them laurels yet. And that me I say. Who want challenge it? Come show me where them get up. You're the lady just called? Yeah. You're the lady just called from Flaggerman? What the lady say? She has not been assessed. Nobody no come to her yet. If take her name, her number, her TRN, take picture of her mash up, find out how much people in her house, find out what is it that she make a living from, how she eat. Nobody no come to her yet. The minister just tell you that they have done 40,000 assessment out of a possible 150,000. So those who are saying that the government is doing a good job, tell me that doing one third of what you're supposed to do, he's doing a good job after 45 days. Tell me that.
It's crazy. It's crazy. That shows them they're not in touch. They're not no care, no compassion. My final point is that I heard Daryl Vaz said that we're going to have. Remember, he talked about they're gonna get light in between. Most places are in central places gonna get light in Christmas. But most of the people them don't come yet who's supposed to do the work. He said them supposed to come between next week or next week. He said between the next week. He said them are come. So how people get light when the people who's supposed to do the work, the 300 lines men.
Let me tell you something.
Not coming yet, you know?
Let me tell you something about Daryl Vaz. Let me tell you something about Daryl Vaz. Daryl Vaz.
He just ignorant in no sense.
Let me tell you what me think about Daryl Vaz. Because this might shock you. Me like Daryl Vaz as a minister, you know. Me are the first man. I'm going to say it this morning, yeah, so. Me are the first man who said Daryl Vaz must become energy minister, you know. When Wheatley getting a problem, you know. Because, let me tell you, Daryl Vaz will do. But Daryl Vaz needs leadership. He needs somebody to tell him what to do. Can you say anything you tell Daryl Vaz what to do? It is going to be done. But if Daryl Vaz will come up with what to do,
no idea.
You have a problem. Because he might do something, you know. It might not right, but he might do something. You understand? But he need guidance.
Just like the boss.
So me like Daryl Vaz, the boss is a good initiative. But it's just that somebody thief the money. Somebody stole the money. Me don't know who, but somebody stole the money with the boss.
Yeah.
And somebody's going to steal the money with the container houses.
Of course.
And then, but let's go to the energy with the electricity.
Yeah.
You see, if the government would come out and say, listen, we are giving JPS the $350 million to restore the current. Yeah. Nobody couldn't say nothing either, you know.
Yeah.
You see the $150,000 loan with them loan JPS? Nothing wrong with that neither, you know. The $150 million with them loan JPS? Nothing wrong with it, you know. We need back the current. And if JPS need a piece of food and say, give me this, me can employ the workforce, the labor force, because what Daryl explained on Wednesday, that is what he should have explained in the parliament. But obviously, they might make it up as they go along. Because what he explained on Wednesday was clear. He said, JPS said, listen, we have 170 money from foreign. We want to bring in 300 more. It will cost with 75,000 US a month, 75 million US a month to pay the labor force here. This is the labor force that we need to put up at the post, stretch back the wire so we can start putting back current. Nothing wrong with that. What's something wrong with is they are lying to the people of Jamaica. Because what Favor Williams say, and what Darrell Vaz say, and what Marlon Morgan say, none of them now add up to the same thing. You understand? So we wonder what is the mix up in the GPS one coming out. Them can't thief no money out of that. Me not think no money can thief out of that deal. My personal view. Me not think no money can thief out of the GPS deal. However, somebody is lying about something somewhere. And we can play the clip them and show you the different level of argument. We can show you the miscommunications. So, then now govern, brother. Governance left them.
What?
Big up yourself. Big up yourself. I'm going to take one more call. And then I'm going to bring in Ralston. I want to bring in Lambert Brown this morning too. And then you know, say, OB.
Good morning, Colin.
I go come in. Good morning and welcome.
Thank you for that. And morning to everyone on the chat and all that. Colin, let's take this one by one. I am very, very, very encouraged by your outrage. Because, one, I agree with you. The money is the problem. The lack, because it shows for sure that it is inadequate for the people suffering down there. Two, housing is what we need to focus on now. Because everybody in this holiday seasons, you know what it is like in the whole world in this holiday season. Everybody underneath their little tattoo, them a cook their little food. If I even chicken back or tin mackerel, they sit down and then do away and then family come and they enjoy that part of life. It is something that is for the whole world of humanity. They enjoy. And the other part that I don't get, as you've been beating this whole topic of housing for the people, the data, so many examples you have given them. You have been saying, I don't know how to put it in a comprehensive word, that you've been giving them. You bring all the expertise on to say, these are avenues that you can gather the data to get our people into, start getting them housing. Where is the Builders Association? This is the PISOJ now. They are the building association in Jamaica. They have the hardware stores. They have the people, the skilled men them in there. Why they're not, we not hear them a sound out and a rise up and I said them need to be the first and foremost in the front to build back our country instead of, I have nothing against the Chinese because there's a lot of Chinese Jamaican and they're part of our society. But why isn't the building, the skilled tradesmen and everybody now rise up on this government to let them know so them is there and they need to be part of the rebuilding process and they are entitled to that acknowledgement, Colin?
Carla?
Yes.
I don't know, but where there is no vision, the people perish. Somebody said, Colin, you're missing the point. We want to know how much money JPS need to restore light to the country. No, Carla.
Yes.
Yeah, man, go ahead. Let me talk to you first.
Yes, but when you touch the JPS, listen, that outraged me to, Colin, but let's focus on what me you have this in mind for the house, to put people in a house.
Hold on. I don't want to get me wrong with JPS.
I'm not either.
Something is going awry with JPS, but a lot of people are missing the point. Somebody said me, I missed the point. The $150 million, and as I said earlier, if it was the $350 million GPS would have to get light up, the government should give them too, I agree. But all I'm saying is that tell the people the truth. Come and tell us the truth. The government is lying to the people. They are lying to us. We don't have no doubt about that. They mix up, they mess up, so they might tell we a bag of lie because some people want to beat them chest.
Yes. Agree.
The government will have to give GPS, and maybe I come out and say then give GPS the extension already. Why them are run scared? Because what Fairval Williams said in the parliament, tantamount to giving GPS the extension, is what Fairval said. I mean, your Darrell said about $150 million. That's the figure out there. No! There's a figure of $450 million out there. By
and
the
that
Minister
came down into the multilateral loan, the IMF loan. She said it, quote unquote.
Said it. She said it.
Yes. Yes, and then she said they will get back the 150 million out of that money and take it back.
Yes, she said it.
So she concluded the loan. We know
So
that
what
is a
them a lie
conclusion.
about?
She said it in one word in the sentence. That is what happening. And she said, quote unquote, we're not to worry ourselves. Don't be too concerned.
Tell her. The money will come from the multilateral. In the package of $2.4 billion, there is $450 million in there for GPS. And Darrell, you told us that for GPS to get the money from the multilaterals is 8 to 10 years. Talk truth.
Correct.
Somebody lying.
Correct. Quote unquote. It come out of their mouth.
Out of the horse's mouth.
You see what we talk about cock, mouth kill cock?
I'm going to chat to Ralston a little more.
Very cool.
Bless up yourself. Let me tell you something. We no fool. And the Almighty show we things. That may I tell you.
Dollars for 5 years. With simple terms. 5.5%, which is very concessionary because we don't want a pass-through for increased bills because of interest rates. So we were mindful of that. It allows us to continue on the track to negotiate a new license with JPS or with whoever. So we have separated Melissa from what we were on track to do pre-Melissa. And I can say to you that in 2 years, if the JPS is successful in negotiating a new license, they'll be able to raise capital and repay the $150 million.
All right.
If they don't, the government has already indicated in June of this year, rather than giving them an automatic 10-year additional extension for non-response by the government, we indicated to them that we were not prepared to renew the license on the same terms, and therefore, if necessary, we will be prepared to acquire the assets of the JPS. So our $150 million is secured either way. I just don't get what all of this noise and confusion is about.
Me I go show you. Me I go show you what the noise is about.
Jamaica, the simple thing would be a decision that will be taken on your behalf. Grant a 15-year extension and continue to suffer under the current license for 15 more years.
You never had to suffer.
Or lend JPS $150 million. Take the argument of extension out and proceed to restore electricity in the shortest possible time. I don't get it. Anyway, it's very clear. Last week, Tuesday in Parliament, after I spoke, the questions kept coming, and there was a definitive opposition by the opposition of releasing $150 million without knowing where the balance of money was coming from. So let me speak to that very clearly. The original estimate was $480 to $600 million. It has been revised down to $350 to $400 million. The $150 million that we're lending them was not picked out of a hat. They told us they needed $75 million a month for 2 months to bring us full restoration. So yesterday in Parliament again, the noise and the mischief about the fact that the $150 million is not enough, and where is the other 200?
Hold on. If you did take the time, Darrell, if you did just take the time to say this in the Parliament that we are here, because you did say something about $75 million a month. But if you did just take the time and explain it, maybe somebody teach you after Parliament. I get it. Somebody tell us, listen, explain the thing properly. Let me go back to you.
250 million coming from? That's not a discussion that we have had with the JPS. We have had a discussion about $150 million. The JPS is owned majority privately, so the government has no obligation to fund a private entity. We did so in this case because of the benefits, and therefore we have nothing in front of us either to qualify at this stage the amount or the final assessment of the amount of money that Melissa has caused damage to JPS. We don't have it from the JPS, and I don't have it from the OUR. So I can't speak to any other figure other than what is out there. Secondly,
hold on. You can't speak to any other figure than what is out there. Hold on, Marie. Because we want to speak to this figure. This figure.
Projection of 68% for debt to GDP. How do I compare that to the 41%
hold on there.
wipeout of GDP? 100.
This figure. This.
The question about the loan to JPS, is the government prepared to lend the entire amount? I think that was your question.
Yes, that was
so
from
the
Isaac
loan
Buchanan.
to JPS was $150 million US.
Listen!
So that they could accelerate the pace at which Jamaicans get their lights back, at which businesses get their light back. Madam Speaker, already I could say to you, you don't have to worry that the government is going to lend the entire amount, right? Already our international partners have indicated that within that package that's announced, there is about $450 million for JPS. And what that will do is allow for our loan of $150 million to be repaid back to us, so we get back the liquidity. It didn't happen last Tuesday. It's happened.
So it's not only the figure of 150 million is out there. There is also a figure of 450 million out there as well. So you need to talk to us about that. Go ahead, Marie.
Yeah, morning, Colin, and to your listeners.
Morning,
you know
and welcome.
something? If Mr. Vaz, if they had taken the time out to diligently explain what we're hearing now with you playing this tape, so all this shadow of doubt would not have been cast on him, and the finance minister would not have looked inept. You understand me? He was so bombastic, arrogant, and all the words that right now is like, me I do what me I do, argument done, the check I got draw because of cabinet decision. That's the way he came across at first when he started talking about this loan to JPS. So the 2.4 million or billion that was earmarked for like private enterprise, if he had just sat down and taken the time and said, this is what is out there, and this is all the interest, or we're going to get back the money and all of that, nobody would ask you, Colin. Nobody, because it would have been out there and it would have been playing as there. And I remember Mark asking, the 150 that you're going to give, who will be impacted positively with this, and who will be impacted negatively, because it's like you're going to deal with one sector, but who the other sector, which I'm thinking is maybe household, private households, liquor people them. If Mark was asking if they will be included in getting back light too. That was what I got from it. I don't know, I could be wrong, and he was arrogant and, start call people wicked, bad mind, and, want people get back light and all of that. And instead of taking the time out to give a due diligence and a detailed report like he's doing. Let me move on 1 minute quick, Colin, because I know you time. Somebody said that the lady called and said that they should have included the builders. Conrad had the master builder on his program,
Yeah, man.
Colin,
Yes,
where he
man.
was outlining and saying this is what should be done. And apparently, I don't know if they are included in the package for deliberations.
We had Dr. Burgess over here as well.
Yes,
who is a civil engineer.
As how to go about the rebuilding process. And what I'm thinking, Colin, is that maybe because the Prime Minister, they were touting these container homes from long before, Melissa hit. So I'm thinking that maybe somebody, and Jamaican people wasn't buying it. Because Jamaica people in a black and steel and sand and cement.
Straight.
So I don't know. This is like, when Granada said drunk around go lower deck and like a cool breeze take him and him fly.
What that mean? What that one mean? Drunk around go lower deck and little cool breeze take him so him go back high.
Yeah, either high or low, something. You know them sayings there.
But we don't know that one. That one new to me.
And when you go up here, the old time people don't say, you don't ever ask what it means, because it's a situation where you do, and them are equate it, so you don't ever ask, you just take it. So them say, so apparently somebody had these container homes in mind. Jamaican people wasn't buying it, Colin, because a black and steel and sand and cement, we into. And stuff. So maybe this is an opportune time for these container homes to come in. And then another thing to call in. Listen to this. The housing trust for people who throw housing trust. You think people want to invest them housing trust when that housing trust is one bite at the apple, that they want to invest them housing trust donations into any container homes. And you have said it too, Colin, that this is a way to jumpstart the economy. Because the soup man, the cigarette man, the weed man, little lady will come out with a cheese tricks and ginger beer and a biscuit them. This is a way for she come out every day, sell, run back down on Mr. Chin, or catch something and come back, because it's a site sites are going to build up all over the place. Little man will cook little food, them little things they call in.
I don't know if you heard the Prime Minister at Pinnacle, day before yesterday. Looking at the tower, I want to play it for you, because the Prime Minister,
after that.
Hold on, the Prime Minister is also saying something that we have said right here. Listen to the Prime Minister.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has charged the developers of the Pinnacle Luxury Construction to join forces with the government to help rebuild Jamaica. Dr. Holness says luxury development must go hand in hand with rebuilding homes, improving public order, and ensuring workers benefit from the sector's growth. The Prime Minister said the government remains acutely aware of the national mood following the devastation of Hurricane Melissa and the mammoth task that must be undertaken to rebuild the nation's infrastructure better.
This tower would have risen up in under a year. If you can do this, you can build thousands of low-income houses as well. And therefore, I use this platform to challenge you and to say the government of Jamaica is willing to partner with you if you were to put some of your construction skills into providing low-income housing, which is absolutely necessary at this time, given the destruction wrought by Hurricane Melissa.
Prime Minister Dr.
Marie, I also want to play. I want to play what we said over 3 weeks ago. Listen what we said. The idea
and
to the government. Hold on. Listen,
right?
Marie, is you're going to build shells 24 by 12. You can't go 24 by 10. But let's say 24 by 12. What you're going to provide is the flooring and the roof column. 8 columns you're going to put in that. And you're going to provide a roof. You're going to deck it. Concrete slab roof. I am saying, I am depositing here that anywhere between $2 million and $3 million can build that. Bring Jamaican contractors, bring Jamaican contractors together. Ask some of the developers to cease their projects for 2 months or let's say 40 days, because I am saying you can deliver these, you can deliver 5,000 of these in 30 days. Yeah? So you're going to build that shell and you're going to eat. Marie, that was said on this channel on the 23rd of November. The 23rd of November. 3 weeks ago we said that.
Yes, yes. And nothing has been done. And if they would have done, they would have done it. Plus, Colin, like you've been saying, right? They want a little man who would get little work out of that, Colin. You understand me? They want a little man who would get little work. And the trickle-down effect, the trickle-down economy would have been real and sustainable there. You know, because men would have been moving from construction site to construction site. Because you have man, and every man, some man can lay block, some man do finishing, some man do this. You understand me? You know, in the building thing, can me, I'm see different people are fair, you know, in doing certain parts of construction, plus guided by the master builders them. So if they would have done that, you know, as you say, whole heap of things that they did go on from them, and you'd have been putting people in sustainable houses, you know, instead of talking about, drill down for the container houses when I come to the next year. And you still have to get people for lay the foundation, for lay them pan, you know. So I don't know. Somebody's going to benefit from these container things. This is why they are maybe positing them as the alternative to getting people. And one more thing before I go, Colin. You see them do this, you see, Colin, this is a way to formalize some informal communities. Because you got build more than them thing there, where police can drive through. You know, I have nothing shock up here, so and police running on one dead end. I don't know where I work over the fence. You would do sustainable building with roads, the infrastructure where can be policed and all of that. I don't know if I'm wrong. I just saw my thing.
All right, Marie, thanks for the call.
Yeah, all right.
All right. That was Lady Marie. We have on the line, my peeps, my two guests. Me have Ralston Hyman and me have Lambert Brown. Lammy, morning.
Hi, Colin. Bless you and bless Raleigh. And bless your listeners and viewers.
Yeah, man. So we have Ralston Hyman and we have Lambert Brown on the line. Ralston, let me start with you. We were looking from a place where Melissa destroyed most of the western part of the island. People are down there struggling. The question I have for you, Raleigh, is can the government respond promptly without proper data of what happened on the ground down there in the west?
No, man. Joe Stiglitz said what you measure, tell you what you are going to do. So if you not measure it, if you not have the data on it, you can't do it properly.
So the question is that the Minister of Labour said that is the 31st of January before they complete the assessment. What does that mean for the people down there who get serious damage?
You mean that them have to suffer throughout the Christmas season unnecessarily?
My. Lammy, what is your response to those two questions?
I see no reason why the people need to be suffered anymore. In other countries where there's a disaster, people have a plan as to how to react. Even if it's a category 5 hurricane, how to react. We first need to make sure we can mobilize the people who are affected and put them in somewhere where they can have the basic things like shelter. So do we have buildings? Do we need to erect buildings? Do we need tents? Take Japan. Japan is a country that suffers natural disasters regularly. You know what they send for us? They send us 300 tents.
Yes.
14 100 sleeping bags.
Yes.
That's at the disposal of our government. Yet still, so many of our people are sleeping in the night view, facing the rain and the sunshine and everything. So you don't even need to count. You already know 90,000 people without roofs. They know the data. They just don't care. And that's my view. They don't care.
So you are saying that them no intend to move no faster than them a move then?
Repeat that, Colin?
You're saying that they don't intend to move any faster than they are moving?
Absolutely, absolutely. If they intended, they could mobilize a large number of people, train them how to utilize what is called the assessment tool.
Yes.
And resolve the matter. But they don't want to do that because they really don't care about the people. Sometimes they feel that's about punishing the people of Westmoreland for voting for the PNP, punishing the people of Hanover for voting for the PNP.
You think so,
punishing the people of Southern. I verily believe so, yes.
Wow. But if they're doing that,
they
then
know
that...
the explanation. They know the explanation.
That
when the
like
Prime
that.
Minister flies down to St. Elizabeth and then flies to St. James and ignore Westmoreland and Hanover in the immediate aftermath, what does that tell you?
Well, it sounds loud. Raleigh, the Bank of Jamaica mopped up $50 billion this week. What indication is that sending to the investors and to the people out there looking on watching the Jamaican economy?
Well, the investors will have a problem with that, but the money changers love that because you can get 6% per annum on your money without doing anything.
Yeah, but
so the same. Go ahead.
No, but that doesn't spell well for Jamaica, Raleigh.
No. And when they campaign and they are campaigning and them want to tag Omar Davies, them use that and say that was bad for Jamaica. But they are now doing the same thing and doing it more rapidly and more frequently.
That is basically selling paper, government bonds.
Same
government
thing, man. Paper. You just put your money on paper, collect 6% per annum. And do nothing. All the money that should be in the economy working to build out infrastructure, to build out energy facilities, to build out agricultural facilities. But what they are doing, the governor says he's focused on inflation alone, which is total madness. Yeah, because we need to rebuild the place as quickly as possible. Yeah.
Lambert Brown, Senator Lambert Brown. Civil servants are in wage discussion with the government. Melissa, by the assessors, have said that it cost us $8.8 billion US, 41% of GDP wiped out. The Minister of Finance said no, it's only 4.4% GDP gone down by. What can your workers now expect, or what will you demanding for your workers as it relates to wage increase going forward?
Well, the first thing I want to make out is that not yesterday, but last week Friday in the Senate, when we were discussing the fiscal rules, I made a passionate plea. And now that we're adjusting the fiscal rules, let us not forget those public sector workers who work unflinchingly during the hurricane, the firemen, the nurses, the workers in infirmaries, the doctors, the police. Many of the first responders were out there working tirelessly. Please consider them in the increase. The second thing I wish to say is that it is not that the government don't have the resources. The government was able to find $24 billion, 150 million US to lend to a private company. So they could find money within the fiscal space to do what they want to do.
But Raleigh,
they will
but
freeze
hold
the
on,
workers.
Lamy,
Yeah.
should you be using that against the government? Because we couldn't rebuild without electricity. JPS needed that money and we had to give it to them.
No, JPS needed the money. JPS could borrow the money from private sector internationally, as we are told they are going to do for some part of the money. But the reality is, we want to appear as a country, as a government, that we are doing this all by ourselves. We're not even willing to share and have discussion with the opposition. So I'm saying that JPS can find the resources if the government stop playing politics and treat the hurricane relief in a more mature manner. Right?
Let me ask you directly though, will the workers still be demanding more than the 2% over year 1 and 2.5 in year 2 and 2.5 in year 3? Will the workers...
I think the workers have first, the workers have a right to do that. I have looked at the interim fiscal policy paper, and it still contained therein the money that was allocated from the current budget, projecting for next year, the year after, and the year after, still at 6%, not 2.5%. So the government's own policy paper is showing that the fiscal space allow them room to make the payment. But I'll tell you one other thing. If you saw what happened in the parliament Tuesday with the Minister of Finance.
Yes.
I really want to say this, and I don't know Raleigh's feel about it. The Minister of Finance is a vulnerable institution. It is now becoming vulnerable. Somebody needs to save the ministry by changing the minister.
I'll ask Raleigh to respond to that.
Well, you know my view on that, Colin, man. This is the worst financial team since 1944. Yep. So, you know my response to that.
The worst financial team since 1944.
Since 1944, the worst financial team since 1944. Yep.
But the other day you tell me that Foggy Mullins was worse than her.
Yeah, but now when we look back at her performance now, we see that she's even worse than Foggy. The state minister must also go. He knows nothing about finance either. And if you were left to me, the financial secretary, the entire team should go. This is the worst team since 1944.
Fire the existing financial team immediately.
Yeah, man. If we want to save the country. Because we borrow this whole heap of money. And them don't have no clue about nothing at all. So the entire financial team should go. We say that without apology. The entire team.
Should Raleigh.
Save the ministry. Save the ministry. Fire the minister.
But what Raleigh is saying, Lam, is not just the minister.
But
Raleigh is saying the whole team.
No, I am with Raleigh standing up.
Yep.
In other words, the entire team
should go.
Is not worth the salt.
But
yeah,
Raleigh,
the worst since 1944. Yep.
Lambert said they are still going to be asking for the increase for the civil servant at this time. Lamy is saying that the government have the money. What say you?
Well, based on what we saw from April to October, revenues and grants are down by, the budget is underperforming. Revenues and grants are down by $5.5 billion. Tax revenues are down by $2.6 million. So the targets have not been met. But them have a whole for fiscal space now. Them borrow a whole for money.
Hold on, Raleigh, before you go there, sir. These declines happened before the hurricane?
Yeah, man, happened before Melissa.
Hold on, so let's stay with that a little bit then. Because that sound to me then like the economy was not surging before Melissa.
But Colin, we know that the economy just come out of recession, we surging a full the minister attack.
No, but hold on there, Raleigh, hold on there, man. Hold on there, because you see, the Prime Minister declared war against misinformation, and we are joining in that war. I totally agree with the Prime Minister that there should be a war declared against misinformation in this country. Listen to this.
Madam Speaker, we only have to reflect that Jamaica's economy was surging before Hurricane Melissa.
So, Raleigh, that's the Minister of Finance.
Yeah, man.
The economy was surging. You just have to reflect. So give us those figures again.
That's why the reason why we need to get rid of her, because she was lying to the country. The economy declined by 5.5% in the third quarter of last year, 2.4% in the fourth quarter, pushing us into a recession, although Wayne Henry was trying to deny it. And then for the first quarter of this year, they changed the methodology in which they used to calculate GDP and carry the base year from 2007 to 2015. Enough people don't understand that trick there. We measure growth using real GDP, so we subtract the inflation from it. So what them do is move the base year to 2015 when inflation was lower. Yes, so them use inflation between 2015 and 2025 rather than from 2000.
And then you have less years to calculate as well.
Precisely. So we get
the average come out better.
Yeah. So them get 1.1% first quarter, and then them get 1.6% second quarter. Right. So there was no surgery. We just barely come out of the recession.
Because the second quarter of last year, we also declined.
Right. Yeah. So you get a bounce, so we declined by 2.3%. So even though you have some growth, it is still below the decline that we have during the previous quarter.
Because
so just barely a scrape.
Because they are saying that we grow at 3-point-something% the third quarter of this year, which is over last year. Because last year we declined 5-point-something.
Hold on. That is what PIOJ said. PIOJ is making an estimate. Starting at the one, I will tell you whether we really grow or not.
And they've not come out yet.
No, precisely. That's Wayne Henry's estimate, and him always give some optimistic estimate. In basically the PR for the government rather than sound technical work. So you have to wait until starting come.
Yeah.
So don't count that yet. Yeah.
So tell
But Raleigh, also you have to bear in mind, Raleigh, that the quarter in which they were talking about 4.5% growth, it's the worst quarter for last year because that's the quarter in which the hurricane came.
Precisely, and during that quarter we declined by 5.5%.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're not even come back properly.
We never reached back there yet.
But Raleigh, I want to repeat those numbers now, the performance for this year.
You know,
before Raleigh repeat those numbers, let me just add one thing, Colin.
Yeah.
Because I want you to understand that what Ralston is coming up to Ralston is the government presented to the parliament recently what is called
You're breaking up, Lammy.
the Fiscal Commission report for the quarter ending June, as well as the interim fiscal policy paper from the Ministry of Finance. And both of those papers are consistent with what Ralston's saying.
Yeah, man.
So just run it again now for the listeners, Raleigh. The underperformances that we're seeing.
Yeah, man. Revenues and grants were down by 5.5 billion. They projected 614 and then collect 607 and change. Tax revenues, the projection was for 507.6 and them only collect 505. So revenues and grants and tax revenues were running below budget because the economy not performed.
And all of those people is before the 28th of October.
Yeah, man, before Melissa.
That's even before October because that's the third quarter. Up to third quarter or second.
No, that's April to October.
April to October. So when the minister said that the economy was surging, it's a blatant lie.
Lie, man. Yeah, man.
So We are declaring a war.
Colin.
Yes.
I hear you, but you need to be nice to the minister. The minister believes that you can take $72,000 and buy a Pro Box. So, forgive her.
But Lammy,
much is not her strength.
How now, Raleigh, are we going to be able? Because the next thing I want to bring to both of you is this argument from the minister that says the $8.8 billion damage that we get is not really real. Hold on, man, because I have to play it, because I don't remember if you don't remember it, you know. Because what she said, Lammy, I think it was a question asked by Isaac Buchanan in the parliament.
Yeah.
About
from Western Portland.
Yes.
From Eastern Portland.
Eastern Portland.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Projection of 68% for debt to GDP.
Let's
about
go.
Projection of 68% for debt to GDP. How do I compare that to the 41% wipeout of GDP? The 41% member is a measure of the damage relative to your GDP. It doesn't mean 41% of your GDP is wiped out, right? It's measurement versus the GDP for 2024. I gave you what our projection is for this fiscal year, in which we
basically that's what I wanted you to hear, Lammy. I played this for Raleigh already.
Yeah.
So I understand, based on Raleigh's teaching, what that means, but me not understand what the minister said. Because the government is also admitting that the damage is equivalent to 8.8 billion.
Yeah.
How does that not show in a downward spiral of our GDP?
All right. First, what you need to appreciate is that the impact on GDP is not the same impact on the government expenditure. For example, if my house is damaged, that's a private house.
Yeah.
The government doesn't have to fix back my house.
Yeah.
If the hospital is damaged, they have to fix the hospital or they have to fix a road.
But
so the impact on the GDP and the GDP is not necessarily the same as the impact on the budget.
Let me ask you a question, though, Lammy.
Yeah.
So if my business that I use to produce coconut water for export, just saying,
yeah,
mash up, the factory mash up, does that add up in government, in the impact on government, GDP?
It affects the GDP, but not necessarily the government budget, except that if you used to pay taxes,
yes,
there'll be less taxes coming into the government, so that's an impact on the budget, right?
Mm. So you're saying that all the government measure it is just by looking at the direct cost?
No, I'm saying that there's two different measurements. One, the impact on the GDP, and I'm going to come back to that, and Raleigh can explain it even better than me.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an impact on the budget, right?
Yeah.
So that the budget, usually, I believe the impact on the budget is usually less than the impact on GDP. So when you say GDP, you know, and Raleigh, you can correct me on this one. The GDP is how much we earned say last year in goods and services. Mm-hmm. That the whole country,
yes,
private, government, everybody earned last year. But that's the GDP, but that's not the totality of all the goods and services in the country. It's just that it was produced last year. So, for example, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, the impact, Trelawney,
St. Elizabeth,
the impact is 41%, $8.8 billion US. And in terms of damage, but the country damages is the country assets is way above that. the GDP, as I understand it, it's about 1 year of production, not 50 years of production, which you add up, which is no way, because those prices couldn't constitute almost half of the country's asset. So it is for the production last year of that 41% of last year production would have been damaged.
Hold on, Lami. Let me hear Ralston respond to that.
Yeah.
Raleigh.
Yeah, so what I said, GAT is the total market value of all final goods and services that we produce within a particular period of time. We normally measure it by a quarter or a year, right? So now since we have these things about frequent disasters, people like Jeffrey Sachs and Joe Stiglitz and Amartya Sen and the Philly Fed, what the man them say is that you can't just ignore the damage to infrastructure and just use the flow of production to measure this, because you need the infrastructure in order to produce.
Yes.
So you mislead yourself if you just measure the flow of production. So for example, go back to where you just said a while ago. If you are run a business, right?
Yeah.
And say you run a restaurant, right? So, and your machine get destroyed, your computer then get destroyed, you can't just say the value of your damage are the sales where you lose during the period. Because
Correct.
you have to go replace your machine and your computer and your stove and all of them things before you can start production again. You follow me?
Yes.
So
yes.
when the minister and them are calculate, it's just the flow method, the flow of income where you lose. They now measure the infrastructural damage, the damage to your stove and the damage to your computer and all of them things there, which the man them say is misleading.
So them now calculate the damage to the boat, them we do the tour upon the safari. Them now calculate that.
No, the housing stock where you lose on them today, them calculate them thing there. Them just look at the value of production. So the man who lose him house, them only measure the income where him lose if he could have got work. Them now measure the fact that him house gone, and that is a total disruption to his lifetime after replacing him housing stock.
And you are saying that all of that should be measured?
Yeah, it's an underestimate. That the man ever said. Because you can't do nothing without them today. You lose all of that.
So you are saying that the minister's measurement is flawed. This thing about the
minister don't understand nothing about economics, man. Bottom line, she don't understand nothing about economics.
Lami, you agree with that?
I'm with Ralston on that.
So, go ahead, Lami.
So Lami has a businessman. So Lami run a business. Him having business. He used to make X amount a year. Yeah? During the period of hurricane now, him building on him computer, everything. So you can't just say, Lami lose is the income where is the income. Yeah.
Lose all the
machinery. Get back a building or get back in machinery, get back in computer. You can't ignore that.
And in fact, Ralston, without those things, you can't start back.
You can't start back. You get the point. Yeah.
So you're going to be losing double because you're going to be losing at the time, then you're going to be losing in the future.
Correct. You get it.
And you're losing over the period of time that you have not built back.
Yeah, because you can't start nothing without that. And that is why them give the explanation about JPS, why them have to put up the money. Because you can't start back the economy without power. And that is why the man them from Marabeni and Korea East West hold the hard and pan them and say, yeah, we don't put them out and talk about, we don't renew a license or extend a license. We don't want the economy to start back, we can't start back on the economy without power.
Lami.
Yeah. And
let me come to you, Lami. The minister.
Well, let me give Colin, let me give you an example of that. In Bauxite, down at Discovery Bay,
yeah,
there is the plant that dries the bauxite and ship it out. But that bauxite comes from up in the hills in St. Anne.
Yes.
Down at the plant in Discovery Bay, the company produces its own power have its own powerhouse. But in the mines, it depends on JPSCO.
Yes.
Right. So if JPSCO don't bring back the light in the mines, which I'm begging them to bring back, it means that the ability to produce as productively in the mines and to get the backside down to Discovery Bay and ship out to earn the foreign exchange is going to be negatively impacted.
Correct.
So it cannot be possible that Melissa effect to GDP is 4.5%.
No.
Flawed.
It's an underestimate.
Major. Lamy, the minister, something with more with JPS, Lamy. Senator Lambert Brown we're talking to.
No,
we're
Lamy is fine with me.
No, man, just telling the listeners that we're talking to Senator. Senior Senator. How many years now you been Senator Lambert?
Oh, boy, you go on, Colin.
It's how many years? Tell the people, man. The people want to know. Because we see some little fly-by-night senator.
Some little oracle, yeah.
Colin.
Yes.
I'm learning life to dignify nonsense.
All right, let's move on. So,
yeah,
in the parliament, Lamy, the Minister of Finance said that there's a $450 million package in the money coming from the multilaterals for JPS. The government is now trying to sidestep it like it never happened. It was never said. I want to play it for the listeners. Listen to this.
The question about the loan to JPS, is the government prepared to lend the entire amount? I think that was your question. So the loan to JPS was $150 million US, so that they could accelerate the pace at which Jamaicans get their lights back, at which businesses get their light back. Madam Speaker, already I could say to you, you don't have to worry that the government is going to lend the entire amount, right? Already our international partners have indicated that within that package that's announced, there is about $450 million for JPS. And what that will do is allow for our loan of $150 million to be repaid back to us, so we get back the liquidity. It didn't have.
Lamy, what that mean?
Yes,
what the minister just said?
Colin, you're being unfair to me now. I don't think the minister even understood what she was saying.
What do you mean?
And you asking me to understand what the minister said.
But
let me put it clear.
But she said.
Hold on, Colin. The MP for St. Mary's Central, Omar Newell, summed it up best when he said to the Minister, we wish with you. Because a lot of what the minister is saying is wishful thinking. And sadly, she never even understood what Omar said. Omar Newell said when he said, Minister, we wish with you. He was ridiculing her. He was being sarcastic.
No, dash her in the gully.
Yeah, she, if you listen to that session of the parliament, at one point she said, they must go ask the minister of energy because she's lending all the money, but it sounds like she don't know what she's lending it for. She don't know how much she's lending, whether it's 450 or 150 million US. How she going to get it back? Because our international partners could have anything.
But Lamy,
yeah.
She went further the day after that. And Zara Burton asked her if the government was going to stand security for the loan for JPS. And she said no. JPS getting the loan on their own. No, but
Colin,
what do you mean she don't know?
The Ministry of Finance is a venerable institution in Jamaica. It has now become vulnerable because there is a need to save that ministry by changing the financial team at the ministry.
It's now a laughing stock.
Right? Colin, let me tell you a ransom. Let me tell you a ransom.
Was maybe 300 million in US, I think I heard it said. So they're getting an.
Fighting for the doctors to be paid their overtime. You know what the Ministry of Finance wrote to the tribunal to say?
What?
That the doctors' overtime would cost $103 billion based on what the government is offering. I went to the tribunal and said to the tribunal, that is erroneous.
Yeah,
it
man.
is significantly less than that.
Yeah, man. Mad.
The lawyer for the government had to finally admit that I was right and that the figures on the Ministry of Finance is erroneous, it's flawed, it's inaccurate. So that is the Ministry of Finance that we have now.
So hold on. Everything coming out of the Ministry of Finance is incorrect. Hold on, Lamy. Rally. In the debate, the minister told us that the tax break, they're going to move income tax for the rich from 25% to 15%, and it would only cost the country $20 billion. You remember that?
Yeah, man, and they might to revise it the day after, and them still not get the figure right. Now, I'm telling you, the ministry is a laughing stock, and we need to save Jamaica by changing the team at that ministry. Else we're going to get ourselves in a whole lot of trouble. And I don't know about the multilaterals. May insist on the Prime Minister that they need to change the team because they want to ensure that they can get back their money. These people are incapable of spending that kind of money in a way that will benefit the country. But I tell you, the minister must go, the state minister must go, the financial secretary must go.
So, have the multilaterals ever intervened in something like that by saying that your Minister of Finance is not ready, you need to change it?
Well, no, they wouldn't do it openly.
Right.
Yeah, they wouldn't do it openly. Yeah.
But you are saying they might elbow the Prime Minister and say, listen,
yeah, and say,
you need a team.
Boss, because when I like what I say. Yep.
The question of confidence in the ministry is a major factor.
Yeah, man.
Right? There's no confidence. Trust me. You see what is happening there, and you know something is wrong.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. If you're a patriotic Jamaican, you must call for a change in that ministry. Yeah, man.
No, Raleigh.
What came out last week in Parliament, Colin?
It is sad and frightening, though.
It's frightening, of course. Frightening.
Does she show that she can do these negotiations with the multilaterals for this kind of loan that we're looking at? If she can't even get simple mathematics right?
You're mad. No, man, no. Well, let me tell you something else again. Not just the multilaterals. Last year in September, the unions and Nigel Clark agreed to start negotiation early, and to conclude it before end of March this year. So when the budget comes, the government will have certainty as to what amount to pay for salary. Up to now, the government doesn't know how much to go and pay for salary for public sector now, because there's no agreement. But when you read the fiscal policy paper, when you read the fiscal commission report, they regard as a risk to Jamaica budget the public sector negotiations. When this minister came, I was said to her, Minister, you need to conclude the negotiations. She said the end of April this year to conclude it. We're now in the middle of November.
We're now in December.
Yeah.
But why it wasn't concluded? Why it wasn't concluded, Lambert?
Because the government You don't believe Ralph Town and the team is
man, incompetent, man. Yeah, man. Incompetent. We see that every day.
So you are putting the unsettlement of the wage dispute to incompetence at the ministry?
It is the minister who the buck stops with the minister. Let me tell you something. That negotiation can be concluded in a weekend. Right? I had to meet with Nigel Clark when Arden Shaw was minister. And up to one Sunday we were at the ministry. I had to meet with Peter Phillips and Phillips was at the ministry. In a weekend we finished. This negotiation coming finished. Oh, the minister is weak. The team is weak.
Yeah, man.
Rally, you know
the confidence of the union.
Hold on, Lamy. Rally, you know the minister. Is she a hard-working person? Because when I look at the situation, I see somebody who is not actively involved in the day-to-day operation of the ministry. Is she a hard-working person?
No, but you clearly said that for yourself. No, she's not a hard-working person, and she does not understand these things. I have known the minister for 10, 15 years. I've never seen she getting a number right yet. When we did Petrocarib, she said it was a very bad thing for the country. Petrocarib is what helped us to bring down the debt to GDP ratio. When they were talking about the 1.5 million tax scam, she and Arbinil told the country it would cost $0. Then they move it to $4 billion. Then they move it to $6 billion. Then they move it to $9 billion. Then they move it to $12 billion. Then they move it to $16 billion. When Peter Phillips' team were passing the IMF test.
Stop. Tell the country how much it cost them to do the
$32 billion, as we said before. Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
$32 billion.
Saying that we were only passing the IMF test and not passing the people's test. Yeah, so I've never seen her done anything that is competent yet that will inspire confidence.
Somebody in the group is reminding you all that you're talking about a Harvard graduate.
All right. Larry Summers, who was the president. Yeah, Larry Summers was the president of Harvard University. Yeah, him said there are certain people who say them come to Harvard who couldn't pass in elementary economics test. So tell that person that what Larry Summers said.
The producer is saying she's a Harvard graduate, so what? She ought to be bright.
Yeah, I'm saying that Professor Summers, who used to run Harvard, was the president for 6 years. So there are people who passed to Harvard who couldn't pass an elementary economics test. So the minister is one of them.
Well, let me just add this, Colin.
Yes.
And Jamaica need to know that in the presentation in Parliament last week, the minister said something, the Minister of Finance said something to one of the opposition members, which says, your government couldn't do this. No, that minister seems not to understand that in 2013, it is the opposition, then in government, Portia Simpson Miller, Peter Phillips, who had to go to the Black Caucus in the U.S. Congress and say to them, please help us. Jamaica need your help. Because what the international community was saying, let Jamaica fail. One of the biggest joke was amongst them was when is Jamaica going to fail?
But Lamy.
Because nobody wanted to help us. Nobody wanted us to give us any money.
Hold on, Lamy. Hold on. Hello, good morning.
Hey, Colin.
Yeah.
A while ago, Ralston explained the thing good with Lambert.
Which one?
When they come up with the 1.5, from the very outset, Ralston Iman said it will cost 32 million.
Yes, he told them. Yes, he did.
And John Jackson and his friend them and Avenil, they are keep saying, and when each time they move the figure, Ralston said it's going to cost 32. And for each occasion, Ralston said it's going to cost 32 billion.
And that's what it cost.
Right. And that's what it costs.
All right, Marsha, thank you.
Good.
a bad thing for Jamaica.
What was that, Raleigh?
Buying back the debt from Venezuela for 50% of what it valued. $3 billion for $1.5 billion. And this minister was one of the persons, she had Albany running up and down the place, saying that was a bad thing for Jamaica. That helped us to bring the debt to GDP ratio down by 21 percentage points.
All right, before I let your boat go, we say we are on the same page with the Prime Minister when he says he declared war against misinformation. Lambert, I want to play a clip and I want you first respond to this. Listen this. Listen this.
But here's the problem now, Madam Speaker. How do we borrow? If it were 20 years ago, 30 years ago, we would not be able to approach the IFI. We wouldn't even be able to approach the international community. But
Lamy.
Well, I was here very clearly, Colin. Just paraphrase for me.
The Prime Minister said if it was 20 years, he was talking about the loan that we
yes,
getting. And it was in the Parliament. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, we couldn't approach the multilaterals.
Yeah, but you see, he's against misinformation, but he's the biggest spreader of misinformation.
Yeah, man.
Because at that time, as Ralston has explained, Jamaica was in a far better position. We didn't need to borrow because we had said bye-bye to the IMF.
Correct.
Right? So the Prime Minister is the biggest spreader of misinformation, my brother.
So we're declaring war on misinformation.
He's declaring war on himself.
All right, Lamy, before I let you go, what do you see for the workers coming out of Hurricane Melissa, and how are the workers down at the West managing? People have lost their jobs, hotels are closing. We just hear that they, which one of them pulling out of Jamaica?
I had them closing everything until November of next year.
Oh, so they're not totally pulling out?
No, November them say them coming back.
What is
based on the nature of the damage, them say them can't come back till November.
But that's a big blow. That's a big blow.
Massive blow, yeah, man.
To workers, suppliers, tax
the entire economy, foreign exchange flows, everything, yeah, man.
Right, a massive blow. And you know, I'm going to say this here. I am wondering whether or not there's something in the relationship between IAT and the government of Jamaica that is pushing IAT to act the way they're acting. I don't know. I'm asking a question. Because if you're an investor in a country that needs every support, and you're pulling out, so you're not
1 year. 1 year, yeah.
Remember what the Minister of Tourism said now? We'll be back by the 15th of December, 2025.
So no go so.
No. He said, what I have to say, oh no, 2026.
Yeah, man.
And so I need to know, is the government in talks with IAT? Are they trying to find a way to fast track? But let's see if we can bring back two of the property earlier. Because this is massive, you know.
Yeah, man, massive blow.
And when IAT said they are closing, the psychology to other players in the market is going to be not business as usual.
Yeah, man, negative psychological impact, you're right.
Right?
So all your workers... Hold on, let me just 1 sec, Lamy. Just 1 sec.
What, since Hurricane?
No.
In the Parliament.
In the Parliament.
But here the next question, Raleigh and Lamy. And hold on, just say to people, a lot of people in the chat room. I said somebody, you have a question for Raleigh, call me on 202-9201. I'll put it in the chat room. Or you call me on 876-202-9201 on WhatsApp. That's a WhatsApp line you can call me on because Raleigh's on the other line. So you'd have to call me on 876-202-9201. Lamy, Senator Lambert Brown.
Yeah.
When will be the National Day of Mourning for the people who have lost their lives in Hurricane Melissa?
That's the people in Westmoreland, Hanover, Trelawney.
The 40-odd
and those
people
places.
and 30-odd still
I
on.
told you before, I don't think the government care about those people. They don't expect them to be a mourning. I will say this much to you. I saw a senator get up in the Senate last week for the Senate met, praising Tufton, praising Andrew Holness, but didn't have a moment to express condolences to people who had died in the hurricane, and in particular those who had died from leptospirosis, which is something that Alfred Dawes told them was going to happen even before it happened, which means that they were forewarned and they could have done more to prevent it. But no, Lambert Town is of the view that the government doesn't care about the people in Western Jamaica who have suffered. They only care about public relations, going on the video light, get on the video light, and all right, but they don't care about the people.
All right, Lammy, let me thank you for coming on this morning. One love. Ralston, don't move yet. Don't move yet. Don't move yet, Raleigh. Yeah, Raleigh. Now, give us an update of what take place this week in the market as much as you can.
Well, as we said, the BOJ mopped up $50 billion. The dollar closed at 160.91 yesterday. Yeah, so that's basically the situation. The budget running below projections. Revenue and grants down by 5.5 billion. Tax revenues down by $2.6 billion. Yeah, so that's where we are.
And these monies that we're going to get from the multilaterals, the negotiation starts in January.
Yeah.
So we're not getting...
So we won't get any money till February, March of next year.
So none of that money will be in this year's, the 25-26 budget?
No, none of that money will be flowing.
So how come the $24 billion to JPS will not affect the budget, Raleigh?
Well, one thing that I know is that up to 4 o'clock on Thursday evening, JPS never got a cent from the government.
Up to 4 o'clock Thursday evening?
JPS never got a cent from the government.
But they get the commitment that they're going to get it?
Well, I hope so that they'll get it during this week, but up to 4 o'clock on Thursday, they never got any money.
So when Marlon Morgan on OB show, I tell OB said they get the money.
Lie again,
Wednesday.
misinformation.
So you are saying up until 4 o'clock Thursday of
They
this
never
week.
got any money. Yep, they never got any money. Lie.
Up until the 11th, 4 o'clock on the 11th of December. JPS not get no money.
No.
Daddy. So how do Ralston, this is the question I'm asking you, because Fieval said that it will not affect anything that the government had to do when they take out this money.
No, man, it will affect them because it means that they'll have to cut something from somewhere else in order to provide that money. Yep.
But you know,
I'm saying,
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
And I'm saying to you that they have to do that because they can't start back the economy without light. And if you tell the man them say them now renew them license, the man them all right in Japan and Korea, you talk about the fourth largest and the 14th largest economies in the world. Them all right, them have no power problem, so they can't wait out. And one of the point I make is that Melissa has given the private investors in JPS the upper hand. Yeah? So now they'll go to run up in mouth and bad mouth the man them publicly and them thing there, and the man them say, see, this is what I'm telling you now, we have the upper hand. Yep. And them can't get the money from the multilateral agencies unless they extend the man them license. Simple. There's no way that can happen.
On the 25th of November, Darrell Vaz said in 2 weeks, the other 300 linesmen will be here. We now hear him say they will be here this weekend, starting this weekend. That is about...
Yeah, and that is the argument that they sold the public to give the impression that the money was given to the JPS, because them said the 170 linemen that were here
would have
to leave on Thursday if they never get the money.
Right.
And they need the money to bring in another 300 on top of that 170.
Correct.
The point I'm making to you, up to Thursday evening, although they said that they never get JPS no money and the linemen were still here.
And are still here.
Yeah.
But could it be that they have gotten a commitment letter from the government to say that you go and get this money?
Of course. It's either they have a commitment letter or JPS was still paying out of its own money, because no money was in the JPS account from the government of Jamaica up until 4 o'clock on Thursday evening.
How can the government be brushing aside this 450 million argument, Raleigh? Because it seems like they don't want to hear about that.
Them can't brush it aside. Them can't brush it aside because what they want to do is to admit to the public that they may be forced to have to extend the man them license, because Darrell Vaz go to the usual braggadocio yourself and say, nah, extend the man them license. There's no way they're going to get private money mobilized by the World Bank or the IDB unless they extend the man them license, because the proposal for extending the license by between 8 and 10 years came from the World Bank and the IDB.
Yes.
Yeah. I tell you that.
But what reason they have to be...
So I tell the trolls that I know that as a fact.
Go again. Repeat what you just said.
May I tell you as a fact that the proposal, JPS said they wanted 15 years, and a compromise from the IDB and the World Bank was between 8 and 10 years.
Darrell Vaz said that.
Yeah, them can't deny it, because that's a fact. So the only way that 450 million, the only way they might get that 450 million, that them can take them 150 million from it, is if they extend the man them license.
Exactly.
Yep, there's no other way.
But what's the reason for hiding and grandstanding and lying? What is the reason for that, Raleigh?
You have to ask him that a part of the government incompetence and the video lighting, as Lamia said. Him run out as an inexperienced man and a man who has a competence in a certain area. And at this the man in public, them big complaint, then they conduct discussions with the public. So when they go into the public and tell the man about, we don't know the man them lifestyle, you know this, you know that. Yeah. Melissa put you right now the man them on. So you want your thing restarted, them all right.
Raleigh.
It's a kind of amateur setup. It's a clown show. Yeah.
Are there any hospitals on this island right now that is operating without electricity, you think?
They can't operate, well, unless they have generators, because you can't operate a hospital without electricity.
So the Minister of Finance told Alfred Dawes, when Alfred Dawes asked about the opportunity costs, that he must ask people in hospital who are waiting for life-saving surgery, what's the opportunity cost? Was she gaslighting?
Of course. Because the opportunity cost is dead.
But if all the hospitals are operating either on generator or by JPS, then nobody should be waiting on life-saving surgery because of electricity.
No.
Boy, them people are dangerous, Raleigh.
Them don't know what them doing, man. Them incompetent, man. Don't know what them doing. And all of the trolls, they must be blind. Them don't see what is happening. Can you be so biased? If you're a patriotic Jamaican, you have to come out and call the man them out there. This is a Jamaica problem. This is not a PNP, JLP thing.
So you are saying that all who out there now have said the government doing a good job. They are unpatriotic.
Unpatriotic, yeah, man.
Raleigh, let me thank you for being here this morning, my brother. We keep in touch.
Yeah. I'm saying to you, brother, as a final thing.
Yes.
We have to dispense of that team now the Minister of Finance of the country to survive. Minister, State Minister, Financial Secretary, all three of them have to go.
So if we're going to come out of this on top,
yep,
there needs to be a restaffing, a retooling of the Ministry of Finance.
Yeah, man. They're an embarrassment to the country.
Ralston Hyman from Real Business, Power 106.9 weekday mornings from 9 until 11. Check him out. Real business. Thank you, Raleigh.
All right, blessings. Yeah, man.
People, wanna hear it? Wanna hear it? No joke. Absolutely no joke. Where the labor right shows them there? Where them the nuts? They hiding. Why they can't come here and tell we say we are tell lie? Because I heard a set of clowns. The set of clown will tell me say, because me say, if PNP did win the election, there would be no hurricane. Some of them vex and say me I mislead people. Well, vex if you want vex. Boss if you want boss. Had PNP won the election, there would be no hurricane. This hurricane come for show no when we just say them people are not competent. Come for show you say them people can't run the government. We had a hurricane on the 28th of October, and the Minister of Labor is saying to us that the assessment will be complete at the end of January. What a wicked set of people. Eh? What a wicked set of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carla. Go ahead.
The question I wanted to ask Raleigh is the fact that the reason why JPS cannot get any money, if you ever consider that JPS lenders are not giving the approval for them to take the money from the multilateral, because JPS would have had debt that they would have owed, and by taking this money, it would have shown that they do not have the ability to repay this money. That's why they're not able to pull down this money.
No. That is not why. JPS have 2 years on their license. Nobody.
Yeah, man, I'm with you on that, you know. I am with you on that. But there is a other piece of the story. If JPS have 2 years on the license, before even the government increases the time on the license, I believe the lenders is not seeing where JPS will be able to be paying back this loan.
No, you think you're wrong on that, because the lenders, by information coming out of the government.
JPS lenders, you know. Not the lender, the multilateral, no. JPS current lenders on their books.
No, but the current lenders will not lend them the money over 10 years. The current lenders will lend them the money on a 15 years license. So the current lenders are saying to JPS, if you get 15 years, because JPS said to the government, give us 15 years, we will find the money. So obviously that's what their current lenders and their major shareholders want. Outside of that, the multilaterals say, we have money, we will lend JPS, but they have to have 8 to 10 years.
Yes.
So that is why we have called it and said the government must have signed off on that 8 to 10 years based on what the Minister of Finance said.
Okay, that's a reasonable argument.
Because the Minister of Finance said that in the package for private sector, because when you hear the minister say that the government of Jamaica getting 6.7 billion to borrow, a lie. That is a misinformation.
No, that's a misinformation.
Because the government can't get none out of the 2.4. The 2.4 is for private sector. So the Minister of Finance in the Parliament of the land said, don't worry. Our international partners have already said that they will lend JPS 450 million. And so we all get back with 150 million. So we can still have liquidity. It's what the minister said. So if the multilaterals are going to give the money, JPS is on 8 to 10 years extension.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I believe that is part of that. But when I looked at JPS financials, I see one of their big lender is where the problem is. Where who they have currently debt with is the problem. That's where JPS cannot get past.
Who is that lender? Who is that lender?
That's a current bank in Jamaica, Sagicor. A current bank. And as such, if you look at it, here is where the problem lies with this money. Because even when you give it to them, that's where the problem, that's what I wanted to ask Raleigh. What is their current debt structure is where they're having the problem.
No, man, no, but we are saying to you that's not where the problem is. It's something we discussed already. It's not, we know their current debt, because I think, see somebody in the chat room has said JPS, I think, who about 270 million US dollars. It might be more than that. Raleigh had broken it down here already. Raleigh had told us the debt, what JPS own. But what we have said to you is that based on what Darrell Vaz said, yeah? He said that JPS said to him, give it 15 years and we will source our funding. The multilateral said to them, if you give them 8 to 10 years, we will give them the money. So JPS have options to get the money. It's just that on a 2 years license, they can't get none.
Okay.
So if the extension is done, JPS will get it. The government is saying that they are not going to give them back a license on the present terms and conditions, which we all agree. There's nobody opposed to that. But one of the problems, we are another sort of part of incompetence is coming up. Because when you listen to Philip Paulwell said that from 2020, the JPS license should have been renegotiated. And then you hear Darrell Vaz say, if we give JPS time now, we're going to suffer. We are not saying give them time under the existing terms and conditions. So also, Darrell, you are misleading the people. We are saying to you that even now, you could call in JPS and say, these are the changes to the existing license that we want. And support them agree. Then we're moving right along. Or it sounds like you have something against JPS.
No,
not you, not you,
okay.
Darrell.
Okay.
Darrell.
Yeah, I think so. I think his arrogance is holding up the deal in a very simple way, because during the election time, he said that things were going to change, and this is going to put him at the center and front that he has to answer now, because now we have a crisis, and now we have to backtrack on those thoughts.
And when you listen to Marlon Morgan yesterday on Conrad O'Brien show, is yesterday or the day before yesterday?
The day before yesterday. Yeah.
He was very arrogant. No. Yeah.
Yes. And I think that's where their problem lies. Then after they having a problem because JPS cannot keep up in paying these line staff who is working $100,000 a week.
No, man, it's not 100,000 a week.
A year.
That's what they work per year. So
they're going to have a big problem to continue to pay from their pocket to maintain this without any support.
So that's why you hear Darrell said JPS wants $75 million a month.
Right.
And the government is giving it to them. We were just told by Ralston Hyman that up until Thursday, JPS never get no money.
Yeah, that's true. There's no money there.
How can you
not receive any money?
One of the next questions is how can you take $24 billion from the budget and you are saying it not going to affect with none at all? I don't understand that. That's so much money we did have lined up in the budget.
That's just rubbish. That's just rubbish. Plain rubbish.
All right, my brother. Respect and thanks.
All right. Thanks very much. Yeah, man.
876-804-7072. That's the number to call. You know, we have passed our time, but we're taking a little more time this morning. Tomorrow morning, Talk Jamaica, right here on Portland Spice TV. Make sure you join us, because tomorrow morning we don't bring on any guests on a Sunday morning. We open the phone line. It's your time to talk as we come against misinformation. Let me just touch base with my brethren, Conrad O'Brien tell me say I'm not sure where I'm out there this morning, you know. But I have a touch base with him before me close out. So we're ringing up Conrad O'Brien. Morning, everybody in the chat room. So happy to have you. Please share the channel with somebody in your contact at this time. Conrad O.B. O'Brien, fireman.
Hey, hi Colin, how you do?
Wagwan, my brother.
Boy, me there, my friend. You catch me. I am actually in transit.
Yeah,
but
so
let's see.
that's what I tell the people them say I don't know where you're there because you were going to be on the road. But just to touch on your discussion with Marlon Morgan on Thursday morning, it was?
Yes, because he was on earlier, but he actually called back on Thursday, yes? Yes, Colin.
And hold on. I just want to play for my listeners one of the things where I tell you to show what is happening with these people. Hold on.
Morning that the 150 that government is lent or has lent.
Yes, sir. It has been made available out of GOJ's existing resources. Yes, sir. Go on to the question.
Hold on there. Stop. Hold on, Obi. You hear what I'm saying a while? It has been made available. Ralston just told us that up until Thursday evening, JPS has not gotten $1 from the government. Let's continue.
Now, answer, because I have to move on. One word, okay, I have to move on. Are you saying?
No, man, you determine the question, I determine the response.
No, but remember, determine your tenure here in terms of how.
You're speaking with a member of the political executive in Mr. O'Brien. You have to demonstrate and afford me a bit of courtesy, you know.
I have.
The office that I hold requires that I be afforded a certain courtesy, you know, sir.
I have. And
I'm a parliamentary secretary in the information ministry. Giving the people information is my job, Mr. O'Brien. The taxpayers of Jamaica pay me for that.
Hold on. And that is why.
You understand?
Hold on. And that is why I have you here. For extended.
Be a bit more accommodating, man. You're speaking with a member of the political executive in the country, sir.
Hold on, don't do that. And if since you want to go there, let me say, a member of the political executive that I have championed you getting there in a big way.
Let me stop it right here. What do you think about that exchange, Obi? How did you feel?
Colin, let me tell you something. You see, humility and being humble, I think it's supposed to be one of the hallmark that's supposed to guide us. And one gets the impression that Marlon Morgan don't have one bone of humility and being humble in him. You have to use the word bravado and braggadocious to describe him. Hence, Colin, I had to push back and remind Marlon that I was basically the person who championed him gets looked at. I even bring you on board, Colin.
Yes,
along with
yes.
me and everybody
To champion him getting there.
And I did it, Colin. I did it from a place of sincerity, because I thought that indeed he was really out there, not just since the JLP got into power, but even when they were in opposition. Remember that he was one of the person who was there carrying the communication for Andrew Holness, and they paid him absolutely no mind.
Yes.
They deal with him with disregard and contempt. And as the kind of person we are, Colin, we look at it and we say, listen, this is not about party. This is about fair play. And I went out and I batted for him and so on. You know,
as you rightfully said, you also brought me on board. Come me find myself and I say, yo, make Marlon a senator, man. The man I do the work. Yeah. You brought me on board.
Absolutely. You know, so.
But this is where them say, sorry for Marga dog in turn around bite you.
There you go, Colin. But you know, The truth is that even when he started to carry on, and the reason why I entertained Marlon and I had him for a projected period of time that my callers even upset, but I accord him the respect to say, listen, he is a senator, he is a parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Information and so on. And once he went there, Colin, I made no bones about starting him to treat him in that way. So all the information that Marlon Morgan gave, as as false as some of them are, certainly he said he was speaking on behalf of the GOJ, the government of Jamaica, the Andrew Holness administration. So whatever you identify in that tape, Colin, that is ill, it means that Marlon would be giving erroneous information on behalf of the government of Jamaica to the people of Jamaica.
Well, Obi, the pompous behavior, the pompous behavior by the senator was unsure. And the senator totally forget that he is a servant. Him not your boss. Are you the boss?
There you go, and this is where a lot of our politicians basically misread the tea leaves, and sometimes, Colin, it is us, the people, allow them to behave that way because they come and them carry on and them get away with everything, and we treat them like rock star rather than let them know that, listen, we are demanding accountability and fair play. Colin, before I go any further, I am traveling with my brother, Clovis, right? Clovis and I traveling. And, Clovis said to me just now, he's wondering where the reach money or the sparks money spent. Because everywhere we drive, Colin, you can't look at a place and say, boy, at least it look like them did work there. So, and I believe that we need proper audit and accountability for this money, Colin. It's billions of Jamaican dollars spent, and we can't see it, whether it is Manchester, whether it is Clarendon, whether it is St. Elizabeth, Portmore, Kingston and St. Andrew, you name it.
The place stand bad.
So I don't know, Colin, you're in the east. Have you seen the reach and the spark work?
No, the reach no reach around here yet. And the sparks no start gas yet. No. But Obi, I'm not going to keep you. I know you're on the road, so I just wanted to touch on that, my brother. Give thanks.
Absolutely, Colin. All the best, and to you and your wonderful listeners. Good morning. Have a great weekend.
Blessings. 876-804-7072. Auntie Don.
Greetings.
Wagwan.
Listen, thank you for this morning, Lambert, Ralston, and yourself.
Yes.
3 hard way.
Fire.
Pure fire. Blazing go on. Yeah, man, a whole heap of blazing go on. Naya bingy fire blaze this morning, not just ordinary fire, brethren.
Yes.
All right. Listen, you know that we have to also thank the government for the foolishness they have been going on with right through their time.
Also.
Because it's for them foolishness make plenty of we start where I to understand certain things when it comes to governance,
Yes.
I wonder if you realize that.
Well, yes.
As it relates to the Constitution and what happens in the House and the whole policy changes, what should or how it is done. We have to thank them, because trust me, Colin, if I never them, plenty of we wouldn't be aware of some of the things that can be done, should be done, and not done.
Yeah.
This morning, and me really would have liked for me to Ralston face to face.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, man.
Economics, man. I wasn't strong. I was functionally illiterate when it comes to economics, especially economics. I remember who started make me paying attention. Is one of my little nephew from the West, Dr. Andre Horton. And him start make me really listen to economics, you know. And I remember talking to him one time and him say, Auntie, guess what? Economics is not such a mystery, you know.
No.
So that is why me try to demystify economics, you know. And you see, when you listen to Ralston is now like, if you're there at university and you're in a class and then them say them have tutorial.
Yes.
Ralston are the tutor now. We break it down little. Some of you that sit down in a Andrea Horton lecture.
Yeah.
And then you go to Ralston as a tutor.
Yes. Yes.
And they give thanks for these things. Lambert is in a class by himself when it comes to trade unionism, understanding the whole dynamics. Lambert is always, and we're also glad for people who are not only bright, they are sensible. Because remember, bright don't necessarily mean you're sensible.
No, not necessarily.
You always come on with people who are both bright and sensible.
But that's what we look for.
Thanks for that. Yes.
We don't relish being smart. We relish cleverness. Yeah.
Okay. But the thing that is happening now with thing there, nobody, no care how you go and spin it, you know. The basic thing you should know about assessing, you know.
Yeah, but
starting has always assessed. Always go out and collect data, you know.
But you hear the man them say them learn from Hurricane Beryl. The hurricane blew 2 weeks maximum after the hurricane blow. You should have flooded the place with assessors, assessing the damage, getting the data. How can you not do that?
You could start by getting informal data. Because, you know, plenty of people, we don't like to think there this. But the three strongest organizations to mobilize people are on the ground, having knowledge of what is happening on the ground, is the PNP, the JLP, and the churches.
Exactly. And but you see, hold on. They were also warning, Alfred Dawes was the man that was saying to them, listen, the two political parties just come out of a campaign.
Right.
Get the workers on the road. Get the workers out there to get the data. Now this man come tell we say at the end of January the data done. You know what kind of suffering people are going to feel over the time?
But now you should be talking about verifying data because you have the information and you start work on it. Because I tell you, sir, when you get the informal one, it's not usually very out, you know, you're just going to need the scientific thing for sure, say. But the informal one usually strong too.
But Auntie Dan, at this stage where every man have a smartphone, and then guess what me understand? The government have beg people to go do the assessment. You can't beg people to go do the assessment. You must pay for it and get it done properly and on time.
Yes.
You must $100 million.
You have only people come and say, starting have a list of people where they do them data, who them adjust that them do for starting. You get people like from the EOJ, the political thing, you get the church, you have them out here working.
I think it was the 25th of November, right here on this program. I said to the minister, get the people from the parish them on a damage from your office. Bring them down. Get the teachers from down at the west where now go to school now because the school them mash up. Get the people them working at the call center and the hotel workers who lose them job. 2,000 to 3,000 of them. And take 7 days. 7 days.
Because of basic data you collect, you know.
In that 7 days you'd have had at least 95% of the data you'd have.
Yes. All SDC supposed to out there.
If government
GCDC supposed to out there. The whole of the organizations that work in the communities.
Send them
children services, everybody. Yeah.
If government don't get the proper data, they can't give a proper response.
And that me say now at this stage, it shouldn't be the basic data. Yeah, look. It shouldn't be the basic one. You should have the basic one. Start deal with where you pick up out of the basic one in the second week. You start pick up because it must show a picture, you know. The basic one must show you a picture what is happening on the ground, you know. And then now at this stage now, you start put certain things where you see basic come in. So basic thing you start work on that. So it eases the pressure. At this stage, I know basic data you need, brethren. I know that you need, you know.
Listen, when we say the government are move slow, a whole heap of people vex.
Well, they can't always vex, you know, because you see a lot of people who vex, them not get impacted directly. And like others, like us who don't get direct impact, still feel it. We empathize.
Let me tell you something. This morning, the 13th day of December, the government still sit down upon them laurels. They not get up from around the table yet. Me I tell you no. They not get up yet.
But it's who them sit down around the table with. They not sit down around the table with anybody but themselves.
Then that's why they not get up yet. Because they still wonder who fi do what, where fi go, when fi go.
Because like me, look on it. You have companies like Agortuka. You have other companies in Jamaica with the prefab housing. Why you know sit down? Why them not around? Like the person, the lady said earlier, Master Builders Association. Why them not here around the table?
Listen,
Integral.
the government don't build one house yet. Can you believe that? The government don't build a house yet.
That something with that coming from China thing. Something in a something.
Me I beg some Orlando Antidan. Me I beg somebody to call me and tell me I'm wrong. The government build so. The government don't build a house since Melissa. That cannot be real.
Them building it from Beryl.
Tala.
Beryl was a what you call it, thing they run.
A test run.
I
want to say before me go on to Dan. The government must not buy no container house car come here. They must not.
We don't need it.
Buy any container house car come here.
We don't need it. We don't need it because, like you say, we can start the starter homes. We just, me say prefab. Me say you have a whole heap of people developer in Jamaica where they do prefab housing.
Concrete.
You start with them.
Yes. And you can do block up who want to block up.
I
say to the Prime Minister, link up the developers them. Link them up. Say give me 2 months on a time. And put on 5,000 houses. You can put on 7,000 houses in 6 weeks.
Me not think we as a people so uncaring. People would have contributed. People would contribute to that. And like the lady, the sister Marie said, this is your chance to build up proper communities where thing they can go, the road them is the size where it's supposed to be, and that sort of thing. So you can't have emergency vehicles can go in a community. You don't have no situation where fire truck can go in and them something there.
Lego the government land them. Thank you, Auntie Dan.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right, take care.
Lego the government land them. Lego government land make people and get tenure, security of tenure on lands that they want to live on. Where the government are lock up the government land them both. Our land them are the people them land. If the people them not have security of tenure, here is your turn. I hear some people that talk about how long Westmoreland and the PNP and PNP not do nothing. 10 years, Labour Party in our government. 10 years. Everything went wrong at Jamaica. Anything went wrong at Jamaica. Is this government responsible? Don't tell me about no other government. 10 years you've been in power. Anything where you criticize wrong, you responsible for it. My final call. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, Mr. Colin Bell.
Blessings and welcome.
Yeah, the Prime Minister is asking for private investors to come in and partner with the government in building houses. Is that true?
Let me play it for you. Hold on. Let me find it and drop it for you. Because that's something where we tell the Prime Minister to do. from about the 23rd of November. We tell the Prime Minister. Seem like how you just hear me say it. But here it is.
Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has charged the developers of the Pinnacle Luxury Construction to join forces with the government to help rebuild Jamaica. Dr. Holness says luxury development must go hand in hand with rebuilding homes, improving public order, and ensuring workers benefit from the sector's growth. The Prime Minister said the government remains acutely aware of the national mood following the devastation of Hurricane Melissa and the mammoth task that must be undertaken to rebuild the nation's infrastructure better.
This tower would have risen up in under a year. If you can do this, you can build thousands of low-income houses as well. And therefore, I use this platform to challenge you and to say the government of Jamaica is willing to partner with you if you were to put some of your construction skills into providing low-income housing, which is absolutely necessary at this time, given the destruction wrought by Hurricane Melissa.
So,
Prime Minister,
you hear him?
All right, Colin, I have a message for the Prime Minister.
Go ahead.
Based on the Prime Minister's track record and his unquenchable appetite of stealing from taxpayers.
Oi. Oh, you know that?
Listen to me.
No, you can't prove that.
Listen to me. Yes, I can prove it because the IC of them who is there for misusing taxpayer money. The IC have them in court. Okay?
The IC have 11 people in court? Is who that? Who are those 11 people that the IC have in court?
First of all, you have the Prime Minister.
The IC doesn't have the Prime Minister in court, sir.
Who does the IC have before the court?
The IC.
What about the Prime Minister's statutory deduction?
The Prime Minister have the IC in court, not the IC have the Prime Minister. It's the Prime Minister take the IC to court.
Yeah. Sorry, man. The Prime Minister.
But outside of the Prime Minister, is only Xavier me and now me hear the IC says to be charged. Me not know nobody else. Well, there are some councillors. There are some councillors who have charged because them not file over a period of time, but not for stealing taxpayers' money. Me don't know about that.
Well, I have what been to the court already, which is watching Marisa Darample. The point I'm trying to make that private investors do not want to invest their money with people that they can't be trusted. You know what I mean? And a person and a people who have a appetite for misusing taxpayer money. You know what I mean?
I don't hear nobody ever accused I don't hear any official agency that have ever accused the Prime Minister of stealing taxpayers' money. So I am not going to encouraging you I'm not going to be encouraging you to say the Prime Minister has steal taxpayers' money. There's no evidence of that. There's no agency that has come out and say that. So therefore, I would say to you that that is not an argument that we are going to allow right here, sir.
All right, can I say this? What about the charity money that people are giving to him and he invested in on his own behalf?
No, that is a different argument. The IC never say a taxpayer's money. The IC said the Prime Minister use charity money and buy stocks and bonds for himself. Yes, if you want to say that, me would join you on saying that because that is what the IC report said.
Well, as I said, he has an appetite. He has an appetite for misusing funds. That's it. So nobody wants to trust the government to invest with the government because they are dishonest.
Well, the government has not been able to generate any foreign direct investment to speak of. I think only $300 million last year, and they were budgeting $2 billion for this year. No, them can't. I mean, people are not happy with the level of accountability shown by this government. I will agree with that.
Definitely. So what he need to do is he need to get back and restore back the housing trust where the Manley government has started, put it back on its footing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because they can be trusted.
All right, sir. I hear you. Give thanks.
Take care, mate.
Blessings. That's it, my callers. That's it for the callers. It's a brilliant Saturday. Sun shining outside. Come to Portland. Portland is open, people. Rafting on the Rio Grande. The Blue Lagoon is open. The MP is still trying to sort out about the rafting on the Blue Lagoon. That was closed by some people. And nobody now talk about that. The man them stop the man them from raft on the sea with them raft. But Blue Lagoon is open. Boston Jerk Center is open. Boston Beach is open. Winifred Beach is open. Frenchman's Cove is open. Shanshai Beach is open. Reach Falls is open. Take a tour up a Moortown. So come to Portland for rest and relaxation. We have our hotel rooms and our Airbnb. They are up and open. So not because down so receive some damage. Jamaica is still open for business. You can come to Jamaica and feel all right. We tell the Prime Minister from the 23rd of November. This is what we said to the Prime Minister. Bill shells 24 by 12. You can't go 24 by 10. But let's say 24 by 12. What you're going to provide is the flooring and the roof column. 8 columns you're going to put in that. And you're going to provide a roof. You're going to deck it. Concrete slab roof. I am saying, I am depositing here that anywhere between $2 million and $3 million can build that. Bring Jamaican contractors. Bring Jamaican contractors together. Ask some of the developers to cease their projects for 2 months or let's say 40 days, because I am saying you can deliver these. You can deliver 5,000 of these in 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? So you're going to build that shell and you're going to give it to a man and say, help yourself from this. So people who have the money can put on, if they want to build 2-bedroom living room, kitchen and bathroom, that can be a 20 by 20. You understand? Yes. And blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. May the good Lord continue to bless and keep you all. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his light and give you his peace. Until we meet again, thanks for watching the Colin Bell Show. Tomorrow morning at about 8 o'clock, Talk Jamaica, where we just open the phone lines and take all the calls. We don't invite guests on Sunday morning. It's your morning. So do remember to join us right here on Portland Spice TV. And remember, if you're packing a barrel or a box or you're sending stuff for the people down there in the West, Portland Spice TV said to you, give them a light. Give them a solar light. They need it. That will brighten up their life. Some of them now are getting a light till next year. So if you can send on a solar light for the people in the West, we encourage it. Once again, my people, Portland is open for business. Come enjoy yourself. The most beautiful part of Jamaica is here in Portland. On behalf of our producer, Miss Natalie Wright, and the entire team of Portland Spice TV, all our ambassadors, all of you who are out there sending the link to people, send it around. Send them the link so they can share up the channel and people can join and watch the program and be educated. Yeah? We send out the information. And as I said, we're not vlogger. We're not blogger. We are broadcaster. One love, my people. Man, no blogger, man.